The 3S talent that can only be acquired with a fortune of trillions globally. In my possession, it is but a mere dollar away. Even the ninth grade elixirs and celestial tier weapons cost merely 9 yuan and 90 cents. However, it was during the awakening of my grade talent in the college entrance examination that I harnessed the formidable power of thunder. Yet he was ridiculed by the entire faculty and student body, deemed the most inept of all, a generator of futility. What they least expected was that when the royal grade beasts invaded the city, a single strike of the 9 heavens divine thunder would be sufficient to vanquish them in an instant. At this very moment, I find myself standing on the school playground, gazing in bewilderment as each of my classmates undergoes their awakening. It has been 18 years, and the essential golden finger for traversing remains perpetually in a state of loading. I casually glanced at the system dashboard once more. The 1 yuan flash sale system has loaded to 98. Host, you merely need to have the esteemed viewer in front of you input 3 dog heads to expedite the process for you. At that moment, a voice interrupted my contemplation. The next student, Chun Fan, please come to the stage to participate in the awakening ceremony. I gradually ascended the stage, placing my hand upon the crystalline orb of the awakening stone. However, only a faint glow emanated. Upon witnessing the scene, the teacher standing nearby called out with a tone of disdain, "Student Chun Fan has awakened the class combat talent, thunderous power." At that moment, a wave of mocking laughter erupted from the audience. It was truly lamentable that Chun Fan, hailed as the most handsome man in the world for the past 18 years, had only awakened the most inferior grade talent. Upon hearing this, I felt a twinge of disappointment. However, it did not weigh heavily on my mind. For at that moment, my system had already reached a remarkable 99, and I was on the brink of completion. In a week, the final martial arts examination for the senior high school students will commence. It should be just in time. If the system has not reached 100 within these 7 days, I shall truly be at my wit's end. As it stands now, only able to borrow a modicum of fortune from the brothers before the screen. Suddenly, at that moment, a prompt resonated in my mind. Congratulations, host. After enduring an arduous wait of 18 years, coupled with the fortune borrowed from my elder brothers, the system has finally completed its loading process. The 1 yuan instant kill system is now successfully bound. Upon witnessing this, I secretly cursed in my heart. Finally, it has come to fruition. Thus, unable to contain my excitement, I promptly accessed the system page that only I could see. The system introduces that one can avail 3 opportunities for a 1 yuan flash sale each month. The items for this month are as follows. SSS Talent 9 Heavens Divine Thunder available for purchase at 1 yuan. 9th grade Elixir Primordial Blood Pill available for purchase at 1 yuan. Celestial Tier Weapon 9 Heavens Thunder Hammer available for purchase at 1 yuan. In an instant, everyone was rendered speechless. This is the 1 yuan flash sale system, allowing one to purchase 3 types of available products each month for just 3 yuan. Suppressing the fervor within my heart, I am aware that the moment to claim has not yet arrived. I shall wait until I return to my abode to receive it. Upon exiting the page, my heart has spiraled into utter madness. After enduring so long in suffering, I am finally poised to rise. I can no longer contain the urge to cry out, "My fate is determined by me, not by heaven." After a while, following the conclusion of the awakening ceremony, I hurried back to my rented abode. Then, I swiftly secured those 3 premier items without hesitation, for the authenticity remained uncertain. Gazing at the system that could be accessed at any moment, I finally laid my anxieties to rest. Fortunately, this is indeed not a dream. Immediately thereafter, I spent 3 yuan to acquire all the merchandise. Upon acquiring my first SS tier talent, I was suddenly rendered bewildered. Gazing out the window, the once radiant sky suddenly transformed into a tumultuous expanse of dark clouds. A terrifying rumble of thunder reverberated throughout the entire city of Tianyuan. The inhabitants of the city all raised their heads, fixated on the pitch-black heavens, speechless in their astonishment. The director of the town Wuxi possesses a unique vision. He immediately discerned that this was a talent awakened by a certain individual. In the desolate room, he spoke with a grave expression, demanding to know whose talent had awakened. "Immediately, investigate this matter for me." Immediately, a shadow emerged, only to vanish in an instant, leaving behind a sense of desolation. Within the confines of the rental abode, I found myself utterly numb, my senses overwhelmed by the relentless descent of countless violet lightning bolts, cascading madly from the tumultuous clouds above. Like a spirited thunderbolt, it darted into the humble abode, striking me directly with its force. A sudden, excruciating tearing sensation enveloped my entire being. That paralyzing agony compelled me to involuntarily utter a curse. In the moments preceding Chun Fan's unconsciousness, his gaze beheld countless purple lightning serpents surging towards him. Will I not be struck dead by my own talent? After uttering these words, I could no longer endure. With my eyes closed, I succumbed to unconsciousness. Uncertain of how long I had been struck by the violet lightning, I slowly opened my eyes from the depths of darkness. I marveled at the fact that I had not perished. Starting from the ground, I gazed in terror at the purple arcs of electricity surging across my skin. I extend my palm, and suddenly a frightening bolt of purple lightning flashes forth in an instant. The once terrifying purple thunder, which had once instilled fear, now flows effortlessly from my fingertips. I slowly rose, suppressing my exhilaration as I promptly opened the panel. Everywhere is mundane. At the age of 18, a dancer of the realm possesses the SSS talent of the 7 stars. Divine Thunder of the 9 Heavens. Weapon: Heavenly Grade 9 Heavens Thunder Hammer Item, 9 Grade Elixir. The Desolate Blood Elixir Points Marketplace has been opened. I struggled to swallow a mouthful of saliva. My realm instantly ascended to that of the dancer, the 7 stars. It was utterly astonishing. He immediately turned his gaze towards the 9th grade elixir among the items, and without uttering a word, he took it out and tossed it into his mouth. He promptly sat cross-legged, closed his eyes, and began to harness the divine thunder within him to absorb the medicinal essence. After several minutes of internal struggle, he transcended from the 7th star of the dancer to the 3rd star of the shattered mirror. After regaining my senses, I gazed out at the early morning sun, momentarily taken aback. How long have I been in a stupor? What date is it today? Upon this realization, I swiftly rummaged through my belongings to retrieve that old mobile phone associated with the case, for today marks the day of the college entrance examination. Upon noticing the date displayed on the elderly device, I had no time for contemplation. I hastily donned a random outfit and made my way to the sports center in Tianyuan City. After more than an hour, I have finally arrived at the entrance of the examination. As soon as I stepped into the stadium, I was greeted by the myriad voices of students engaged in animated discussions. Have you heard? In our Tianyuan City, 3 exceptionally gifted students have emerged. These 3 individuals appear to be named Li Yin, Shun Feng, and Lu Ruyan. It is said that they have experienced a remarkable transformation, and their family backgrounds are quite extensive. Upon hearing this, I was instantly captivated. Then, they found a school bus that would take them to the military district of Tianyuan City. There are specifically designated invigilators responsible for martial arts examinations. The rules of the martial arts examination are quite straightforward, as rankings are determined through practical combat. As the bus journeyed onward, it distanced itself further from the bustling urban center. Ultimately, it passed through a formidable steel gate and came to a halt in a secluded clearing. Armed soldiers surround the area on all sides. I disembarked from the bus, following the throng of people, and at the forefront of the open space, a makeshift platform had been erected. The terrifying roar of a monstrous beast echoed from the distance behind. It was a small town teeming with ferocious creatures, and it served as the designated location for this examination. A robust scholar suddenly emerged from the crowd, his face radiating confidence as he proclaimed, "It appears that this provincial champion is destined to be none other than myself." As the crowd prepared to utter a few jests upon hearing the voice, their words faltered and fell silent upon beholding the individual before them. The speaker of these words is none other than Shun Feng, one of the prominent figures at Tianyuan No. 1 High School. I turned my head to glance at Shun Feng, who was unexpectedly 18 years old, indeed possessing a robust and imposing figure. Shun Feng seemed to have taken notice of me, and thus spoke, "Young brother, with your delicate and tender physique, you too have come to partake in the martial examination?" For reasons unbeknownst to him, he inexplicably sensed a trace of threat emanating from the delicate visage of the young man beside him. I calmly cast a glance at Shun Feng beside me. For reasons unknown, a surge of energy coursed through my veins. Nevertheless, the individual before me is not yet worthy of my intervention. Heh, dear brother Shun, one must not uncork the champagne too early, nor should one hastily pass judgment upon others. At that moment, a soft laugh echoed through the air. The crowd gazed in astonishment, for it was none other than Li Yin, one of the great prodigies. Li Yin approached Shun Feng, lightly laughing as she said, "How many times must I remind you? One should be more modest in their demeanor. How can one judge others merely by their appearance?" Shun Feng proudly raised his chin, saying, "Do not pretend before me. Once I surpass you, you shall face the consequences. I shall eagerly await the moment when classmate Shun surpasses all expectations." Upon finishing her words, Mama Li's bright eyes turned towards me. This classmate appears somewhat unfamiliar, I must admit. Upon hearing this, I replied, "I am merely an insignificant individual from Tianyuan High School 3. Having said that, I made my way into the crowd, for I had no desire to engage excessively with these arrogant prodigies. Yet it was still intercepted by Shun Feng. "This fellow student, are you not showing any respect to us, the students of Tianyuan High School?" Upon witnessing the expression on Shun Feng's face, the crowd immediately shook their heads. It seemed that this student was destined for ruin, daring to offend young Master Shun. I lightly touched my nose and chuckled. Are all the students of Tianyuan No. 1 High School so domineering? Shun Feng's clenched fist emitted a cracking sound. He squinted his eyes and smiled, declaring, "What being domineering?" Upon witnessing this, my palm gradually clenched, and the storm of thunder within me began to flicker wildly. On a distant elevated platform, two instructors appeared, though it was unclear when they had arrived. The woman named Song Ruo is the invigilator for this examination. The man is named Qin Jun, serving as a major within the military district. The Qin army observed with great interest the two fires below, which were in sync. How intriguing, they thought, that even before the commencement of the event, these little fellows had already stirred with excitement. Song Ruo's countenance was cool, and her gaze fixed upon the two individuals below. How utterly uninteresting. Among this group of students, only Li Yin and Lu Wuyin could rival Shun Feng. The Qin army chuckled lightly, noting that there was no record in Shun Feng's dossier of him being such a bully, preying on the weak like Song Ruo. Instead, I slowly spoke, truly unaware of the reason. I felt an overwhelming force emanating from that student. The Qin soldier gazed in astonishment at Song Ruoyun. "Surely you jest. Your cultivation level is that of the Leap realm. How could you possibly sense such an aura emanating from Shun Feng?" Shun Feng in the audience fixed his gaze upon me, a contemptuous smile playing on his lips. "Why have you fallen silent?" My palm, hanging down, has already tightened into a fist, and the corners of my mouth curve slightly upwards. 3 seconds is all it takes to deal with him. At that moment, a chilling voice echoed from a short distance, questioning what merit there was in bullying. Everyone turned their gaze, instantly filled with excitement. It was he who had arrived. I turned my gaze in accordance with the crowd's attention, and there she was, Lu Ruyin. She glided gracefully towards us, her delicate feet captivating the attention of all present. Lu Ruoyan approached, casting a disdainful glance at Shun Feng. "The tyranny of your first high school has no bearing on me, however. Should you dare to bully any of us from the third high, I shall be the first to object." Just as the two sides were to stand off, a sudden wave of terrifying pressure descended upon them, instantly awakening thousands of students. Upon witnessing the achieved results, the Qin army atop the platform retracted the aura emanating from their presence. Song Ruo stepped forward and introduced herself, stating, "I am Song Ruo, the proctor for this year's martial arts examination. I shall elucidate the rules governing the examination for you all. This martial examination implements a point system. You must acquire points by hunting ferocious beasts. Students who manage to enter the top 10 of the leaderboard will not only gain admission to prestigious martial universities, but will also be eligible to participate in an elite training camp held in the provincial capital a week later. Remember, you must return here before sunset." Meanwhile, the entrance to the city of ferocious beasts was suddenly opened, and a chilling wind surged forth, permeating the air with an aura of desolation. Tens of thousands of candidates surged in with an exhilarating fervor. I observed the students beside me forming their teams. Without much thought, I set forth towards the quaint town of Beast District. Suddenly, a voice emerged from Lu Ruyen. Classmate, are you certain you wish to proceed alone? I courteously halted my steps, silently nodding in acknowledgement. Upon witnessing my nod, Lu Ruyen's brow slightly furrowed. Is it true that such individuals are truly that foolish? You possess the prowess of a martial artist, yet you still wish to partake in the martial examination? I would advise you to reconsider and abandon this pursuit. I offered a faint smile, without uttering a word, and turned away without hesitation. Lu Ruyen watched as I vanished into the sea of people, remaining silent. Subsequently, she entered alongside a few others. Upon entering the ominous Beast City, I made my way towards the less populated areas. Seated outside, the gazes of Song Ruo and Qin Jun remained fixed upon the images displayed on the screen, with Lu Ruyen, Li Yin, and Shun Feng positioned centrally within the visual tableau. Were you watching Song Hongxiao? Suddenly, the Qin army noticed that Song Ruo was fixated on the shadow lingering at the edge. He discovered a document in Song Ruo's hand. Name, Chun Fan. Age, 18. Talent, thunderous power. Realm, warrior 1 star. The strength of a warrior of the 1st star dares to participate in the martial examination. Qin Jun abruptly gazed upwards at the screen. Only a vague, shadowy figure flitted past, swiftly followed by a formidable beast of the ordinary grade, 5th tier, which was instantaneously obliterated, its skull shattered. Defeat a level 5 ordinary beast to earn 50 points. Gazing at the fallen beast before me, I was suddenly struck by the realization that someone was speaking. I glanced to my left and right, and suddenly, a realization struck me. I hastily opened the panel. 50 points have been added to your account. The points redemption store is now open. I never anticipated that this examination-free period would unexpectedly reveal a method to increase my points. An indescribable thrill surged within me, compelling me to gaze skyward and unleash a resounding cry of exuberance. Just as I was halfway through my call, I suddenly caught sight of an intelligent drone soaring through the sky. Oh dear, I almost forgot. This is indeed during a time without examinations. Perhaps someone is currently gazing at themselves on the screen. Suppressing the tumult within, I cast my gaze upon the scoreboard. Moments ago, I had slain the ferocious beast of a mutated canine. The digits displayed read 50. In other words, eliminating a typical 5th-tier assassin yields an impressive 50.5 examination points. I'm no longer inclined to conceal my true capabilities. The energy within me surged forth instantaneously, disregarding the ferocious beasts surrounding me as I charged towards the inner regions of the small city. After all, the ferocious beasts within are of a more advanced caliber. Whether it be the points from the Golden Finger or those from the martial examination, both can be significantly augmented. Thus, seizing this opportunity is imperative to hunt down a greater number of these formidable creatures and earn a substantial amount of system points. Inside the military tent, Qin Jun rubbed his eyes, suddenly rising to his feet. How could this be possible? That young man, just moments ago, had obliterated a beast of ordinary level 5 with a single punch. Surely, my eyes cannot be deceiving me. At that moment, a figure was swiftly making its way into the city. The Qin army began to express their doubts once more. Is he heading towards the central region? That place is teeming with ordinary level beasts of the 8th and 9th ranks, and occasionally, even high-level beasts of the 1st rank may make an appearance. Song Ruyen's eyes narrowed slightly. Who bestowed upon you the audacity to venture into the central region? A glimmer of amusement suddenly flickered in his eyes. Now, confronted by this pack of ordinary 9th-tier ferocious beasts, what shall you do? As I have just stepped onto the outskirts of the small town, I have already halted my pace, my gaze fixed upon the numerous heads before me. This is a group of bloodthirsty feline beasts, possessing exceptionally sharp claws and remarkable swiftness. Ordinary dancers like Jiuxing students can only flee upon encountering such a ferocious beast. After all, confronting such a terrifying beast with alarming speed is the most perilous endeavor. Suddenly, the bloodthirsty demonic feline beast, with its wild mane resembling a weapon, charged towards me with ferocious intent upon discovering the intruder. As I gazed upon the ferocious beast lunging towards me, a wild frenzy reflected in my eyes. The vital energy and blood within surged wildly. With a firm stance upon the ground, The entire being was instantaneously propelled forward. Fingers clenched tightly. A fist was unleashed with tremendous force. Despite the swift speed of the blood demon cat, it could not surpass the might of the shattering star's deep crimson blow. This terrifying strike landed with pinpoint accuracy upon the head of the blood demon cat, which had just leaped into the air. Accompanied by a resounding explosion, the ferocious punch shattered not only the skull, but also claimed the creature's life. The ordinary level beast of the 9th session has earned 90 points. No time to revel in joy. The sound of tearing wind rushes from behind. Without a glance back, I pivot my body a full 180 degrees, my legs striking out. With an overwhelming surge of vitality, the leg propelled the ambushing blood demon cat beast into the air. In that fleeting moment, the entire body of the ferocious creature erupted spectacularly in midair. The other blood demon felines, upon witnessing this, emitted strange howls before swiftly turning and fleeing. Do not even think of escaping my brow furrows. How could I possibly let go of these abundant points of reward? Shadows flicker, racing at a velocity of 100 meters per second. Moments later, a series of explosive sounds resound. I brushed off the stains from my hands and cast a glance at the panel. In this brief moment, my points had risen to 590. After closing the panel, I glanced at the score rankings. I found myself in 3rd place, observing the top-ranking Li Yan and the second-ranked Shinfeng. I was not particularly astonished to suddenly hear the distant roars of ferocious beasts. A smile of exhilaration blossomed upon my face. The warm-up game has concluded. What follows is the true moment of the hunt. After 2 hours of intense competition, my score has soared to over 100,000. In an instant, I became the focal point of attention among the candidates. Suddenly, a roar echoed from afar. I lifted my gaze. In the distance, a ferocious boar, clad in iron spikes, rampaged along the road, unleashing its terrifying strength, sending all the small cars scattered into the air. The tusked, iron-spiked boar seemed to be relentlessly pursuing a group of candidates huddled together. Upon witnessing this, I immediately dashed towards that direction. This formidable beast of the advanced first tier undoubtedly possesses a higher point value. It must not fall into the hands of others. Military Tent Sister. The Qin army and Song Ruo have been closely observing. They are utterly astonished by the series of maneuvers I have executed. Ultimately, to achieve the feat of swiftly vanquishing a formidable ordinary-level 9th-tier adversary, one must possess at least the prowess of a broken mirror with 2 stars otherwise. Such a triumph remains unattainable. The scene shifts back to the dilapidated road, where a young girl is cornered by the piercing beads of dental iron. With a frantic expression, he fumbled for the life-saving talisman on his backpack, yet the overwhelming fear within him rendered him utterly unable to locate the switch. The other candidates, witnessing the assailant charging towards the young girl, were paralyzed by fear and dared not approach to offer assistance. Before her stood a pair of fearsome fangs, glistening like iron spikes, and 2 crimson eyes that burned with a malevolent glow. They charged recklessly towards the young maiden, intent on wreaking havoc. The intelligent drone above captured this scene. The hearts of the 5 individuals within the military tent hung in suspense. Upon witnessing the situation, the young girl despairingly closed her eyes, shouting frantically. At this critical juncture, a shadowy figure abruptly darted past, striking the fearsome beast and sending it hurtling away, all under the astonished gaze of those present. A few seconds later, the terrifying dental pig suddenly leaped forth, emitting a chilling roar directed at me. Indeed, the formidable defensive capabilities of this first-tier beast are truly astonishing. I abruptly addressed the group of female students, saying, "This is not a place for you to be." A few examinees hurriedly departed in a flurry. Suddenly, the departing young woman halted, turning to gaze at the tall, handsome figure before her. "Thank you." I nodded slightly in acknowledgement and replied, "Let us proceed swiftly. After the mortals have departed, I venture into the periphery. I fix my gaze upon the imminent assailant, whose obsidian eyes reveal a fervent madness. Allow me to behold just how many points this formidable beast of the first rank is worth." Within the military tent, the Qin soldier abruptly rose to his feet. Is this fellow out of his mind? He still wishes to continue the battle? This is a high-grade first-tier healing iron spike, not an ordinary ferocious beast. Beside her, Song spoke with keen interest, urging, "Let us continue to observe." I have an inkling that this little fellow is not the foolish sort. In the scene, I clench my fist tightly, yet my gaze penetrates into the shopping mall. After all, I currently possess not a single skill. While the body deftly evades the oncoming fangs of the iron spikes, it simultaneously engages in a meticulous exploration of the Points Redemption Mall. Although I'm currently unable to vanquish this ruthless beast, my speed surpasses that of this savage creature. Moments later, I stumbled upon a rather suitable skill. However, upon seeing the price of 10, I was taken aback. The cost was a staggering 100,000 points, swiftly depleting the hard-earned tens of thousands of points I had accumulated. However, after meticulously examining the skill attributes, I gritted my teeth and resolutely seized the opportunity, allowing a wealth of knowledge to penetrate my mind. Introduction to the Ninefold Thunder Technique. Upon reaching the first level, one can channel a surge of vital energy into the opponent's body, instigating a violent explosion. Mastering this technique to its zenith allows one to experience the breathtaking spectacle of ninefold beauty, culminating in 9 explosive bursts of vital energy within the adversary's form. Upon witnessing this, I excitedly closed the system page, gently closed my eyes, and contemplated the cultivation method of this skill within my mind. The fierce tooth iron spike bead, perceiving my disregard, became even more enraged. With a mighty roar, it charged at me once more in a frenzied rush. A light laughter resonated in the air. I gradually opened my eyes. My body suddenly stood still, and my arms fell gently to my sides. The dental iron needle pearl, upon seeing me, suddenly became still, and in that fleeting moment, it was filled with exhilaration. Gazing directly at the ferocious beast charging towards me, a glimmer of determination flickered in my eyes. The ground beneath my feet abruptly fractured as I confronted the jagged fangs and iron spikes of the creature. With a low growl, I unleashed the ninefold thunder strike, advancing thrice before delivering a powerful punch that collided with the beast's skull. The formidable beast's massive form came to an abrupt halt, while simultaneously, its entire hindquarters were lifted into the air. My body remains utterly still, akin to a concrete pillar firmly embedded within the earth. Only by watching that iron pillar soar into the sky simultaneously. 3 resonant sounds echoed within the body, only to fall to the ground and instantaneously become silent. Eliminate a high-gear ferocious beast and earn 100 points. I am perplexed by this predicament, for it should not be the case. Is it merely 100 points? Then transformed into a blurred specter, it surged deeper into the abyss. No time could be squandered any longer, for otherwise, the coveted rank would slip away. As the sun sets in the west, only 1 hour remains until the final examination. With a fist imbued with thunderous might, I once again sent the beast soaring. My trepidation faded as the dust on my garment revealed a smile. Just 30,000 points shy of reaching the coveted million. As I gaze upon the descending sun, my silhouette swiftly weaves through the air once more. In the pulse of my vital essence, a formidable beast looms 100 meters away. If all goes as anticipated, it must be the most terrifying beast within the examination hall, the solitary advanced Tier 3 monstrosity. Subsequently, nearly half an hour was spent skillfully dealing with several hundred ferocious beasts encountered along the way. In the desolate and foreboding town of beasts, I have ventured to the innermost depths of this enclave. Treading upon the shadowy paths, I scarcely behold any ferocious creatures. Perhaps there is but one truth. The presence of that terrifying beast is the very reason other ferocious creatures dare not set foot in this place. After a thorough search, I still could not find the trace of that ferocious beast. However, I am not overly concerned, as I am currently secure in my position at the top of the leaderboard. As for the one in second place, despite Lian's score having reached an impressive 910,000, it is now an impossible feat for him to catch up with me. In the span of merely 20 minutes, it is an unattainable feat to hunt down the ferocious beast and accumulate 70,000 points. I find myself wandering aimlessly along the road, filled with a sense of helplessness. Where, oh where, has that accursed beast concealed itself? Subsequently, I dust off my trousers and take a seat upon a stone pillar, unveiling the entrance to my thoughts. The host Chun Fan is 18 years of age. He possesses the skill Ninefold Thunder Advancement with a total of 970,000 points. The points marketplace has been activated. I was momentarily struck dumb. The points had astonishingly surged to 970,000. Such a terrifying figure. My gaze swiftly shifted to the skill above. The plus sign appeared clickable. Upon realizing this, my interest was instantly piqued. After enduring such prolonged battles and exertions, it remains exceedingly challenging to transcend to the fourth level of the Ninefold Thunder Advancement. At that moment, I reached out to touch the plus sign, and before my eyes, a hoop materialized in an instant. Skill proficiency in the Ninefold Thunder Advance has increased. Reward: 1,000 points. Please enter the points to begin. I gazed upon my nearly 1 million points, feeling a surge of exhilaration. I decided to boldly utilize 100,000 points to test the waters. 10,000 points are required to attain 10 months of cultivation. As a result, the proficiency of the Ninefold Thunder Purification has been enhanced. The comprehension extraction of a Ninefold Thunder Purification after October is underway. The extraction of comprehension for October has been completed. As the words faded, suddenly, a torrent of profound information surged into my mind, and I felt an ever-increasing clarity regarding my mastery of the Ninefold Thunder Purification. Mastering the 7th layer of the Ninefold Thunder, cleansing to perfection. Yet due to insufficient cultivation, further progress remains unattainable. A total of 870,000 points remain. I abruptly opened my eyes, overwhelmed by the realization that these points of merit could not only be utilized for purchasing goods, but could also enhance the proficiency of skills. In this case, I would no longer need to worry about the dilemma of overextending myself. By focusing on a singular skill, I could immediately employ my points for its advancement. An indescribable excitement surged from the depths of my being, compelling me to rise to my feet and unleash a primal roar towards the desolate expanse of Philadelphia. How I yearned for a clash. Cursed beasts emerged swiftly. Within the military tent, the higher-ups heard my cries and were rendered speechless. Song Ryun chuckled disdainfully, remarking, "This little fellow is utterly oblivious to the vastness of the world. If a ferocious beast were truly to emerge, I wonder if it would send him into a state of sheer terror." At that moment, as the Qin army was about to speak, they suddenly cast their gaze towards the screen. The ferocious beast had arrived. Upon hearing the words of the Qin army, everyone grew tense, their gazes solemnly fixed upon the screen. Upon the desolate square, a colossal shadow suddenly descended with a heavy thud. The roar echoed like rolling thunder, resonating through the morning mist. Upon witnessing this, I gradually rose to my feet, revealing the battle. How I have longed for this moment. At last, you have arrived. The chill breeze swept through, revealing the true form of the ferocious beast. My pupils suddenly constricted. The advanced third-tier beast of the Golden Hoop Path. Golden shells and silver coins. This terrifying simian beast boasts a magnificent coat of golden fur and silver claws. Among the ranks of formidable creatures, it holds a distinguished position. I regard the murderer with utmost vigilance. As the terrifying thunder of the divine descends, madly surging through my flesh and bones. The Qin army fixed their gaze intently upon the images displayed on the screen. This young man has lost his mind astonishingly. He does not flee. A calm voice from Song Ruo, standing aside, resounded. Do not worry. That electromagnetic net is sufficient to withstand the attacks of high-level Tier 5 beasts. However, the prerequisite is that he must calmly activate the switch of the electromagnetic net. At that moment, the Qin army suddenly observed a movement in my hand in the image. It seemed as if I was about to press the switch for the electromagnetic net. However, in an instant, they were left utterly astonished. From the perspective of the intelligent drone, it is evident that I am not merely activating the electromagnetic net switch, rather, I am poised and ready, surging directly towards the golden treasures and silver coins. Ninefold thunder advanced upon fivefold gold. A shadow, dark and foreboding, suddenly materialized in the left half of the air beside the golden shell and silver coin. A fist surged forth, striking towards his colossal figure. To my astonishment, the golden coins and silver dollars astonishingly reacted. His body twisted in a peculiar manner. Raising his colossal fist, and hurling it toward my team. Upon witnessing this, the madness took flight within my eyes. My fist, propelled by a surge of fervor, struck forth with even greater swiftness. In an instant, the larger and the smaller of the two fists collided fiercely. A fierce gale swept through, lifting all the withered leaves within a 10-meter radius into the air. With a resounding crack, the ground beneath the feet of Jean and Ian was instantaneously shattered. As my complexion shifted dramatically, I was propelled backwards with great force. I wiped the blood from the corner of my mouth and, with a smile, remarked upon the clash of such formidable powers. It was exhilarating as the golden figure struck its chest with silver palms, emitting a frenzied roar, as if proclaiming, "I am the true sovereign here." Upon witnessing this, I gently smiled. Lifting my palm, I grasped forcefully, "Yet you still managed to soar. Grant me but a fleeting embrace." Suddenly, the once boisterous Jean Bei and Yin Yuan found themselves in agony, their arms dropping limply. A series of 5 explosive sounds erupted in rapid succession, accompanied by a splatter of blood and the stark revelation of white bones. The anguished cries emanated from the gaping maw of Jean Bei and Yin Yuan, her blood-red eyes fixated intently on the golden coins and silver ingots. Her legs bent, and the ground beneath her feet instantly caved in. Her immense form leaped into the air, crashing down heavily in my direction. Confronted with the frenzied golden and silver coins, I dared not be complacent. I immediately mobilized my vital energy, elevating my speed to its utmost limit. Meanwhile, the colossal form of the golden and silver coins crashed heavily onto the ground, sending dust flying and creating a profound pit. Suddenly, a resounding thunder reverberated through the lofty skies. The beasts, overwhelmed by shame, became frenzied. I unleashed a strike of 9-fold thunder, piercing through the 7-fold mirror where dark shadows danced. My figure plunged forcefully towards the golden treasures and silver coins below. Only the golden coins and silver ingots in the deep pit raised their heads, emitting a roar towards the sky. The instinct for survival compelled him to swiftly throw a punch. The two fists collided once more, yet this time it was under the eruption of my power. Behold, the golden and silver fists were utterly shattered upon impact. Immediately following my terrifying fist, it struck the forehead of the beast with a resounding impact. As the thunderous force penetrated its brain, I swiftly retreated to the edge of the pit and descended onto the square. I beheld the monstrous creature struggling to rise from within the depths of the pit. Without a moment's hesitation, I clenched my fist tightly. A series of faint, muffled sounds emanated from below, yet there was no trace of relief upon my face, for the notification of the beast's demise had yet to sound. A resounding explosion echoed from beneath the abyss. A colossal shadow leaped forth once more. At this moment, the head of the golden and silver coins bore a deep chasm, within which flowed a copious amount of blood. My entire being has tensed up. The 9 heavens divine thunder within me begins to circulate slowly. Is it not enough to obliterate you? Immediately, those pitch-black eyes transformed into a shade of violet. If that is the case, then it shall frequently pass through. The 9-fold thunder swords unleashed by the divine thunder of the 9 heavens. My silhouette instantaneously vanished from its original position. This time, I unleashed speed and power to their utmost extremes. My fist, infused with the might of the divine thunder from the heavens, struck forcefully against the abdomen of the golden shell and silver coin. With a resounding bang, the golden and silver coins were sent flying, colliding directly into the derelict building and coming to rest beneath the rubble. The high-ranking Tier 3 beast was vanquished, granting an impressive score of 300 points. Upon hearing the voice emanating from the system, I finally released the tension that had been gripping me. A sigh of relief escaped my lips at last. The issue had been resolved. Gazing at the distant sunset, a faint smile graced my features. I hastily checked the number of unexamined points I had accrued, but when I beheld my score, I was utterly bewildered. The penalty for the unexamined score is 990,000. To my astonishment, slaying this regional beast has remarkably added a full 10,000 points to my score. Previously, slaying a formidable beast to the 2nd rank would yield a mere 200 points. Yet, vanquishing this high-ranking creature of the 3rd tier astonishingly grants an increase of 10,000 points. Could it be that those overseeing the martial examination never anticipated that a student could eliminate such a fearsome adversary lurking in the depths? It is entirely due to this that I have achieved the feat of vanquishing my foe. Reflecting on this, I couldn't help but let out a hearty laugh towards the heavens. Ha ha! After enduring humiliation and bearing burdens for 18 long years, my time has finally arrived. At that moment, the drone high above suddenly emitted a thunderous announcement. The time has come. The martial arts examination has concluded. All the trainees promptly rushed back to the open area to assemble. I gently brushed away the dust that clung to my clothes. Then I took a step forward, gazing at the distant horizon painted with a crimson sky. I languidly stretched my limbs. At that moment, I was suddenly enveloped by a potent medicinal force that spread throughout my body. In my inner chamber, I discerned the presence of a 9th-grade ancient blood elixir, exuding a rich aroma of herbs. No wonder, after battling for an entire day, I felt neither fatigue nor hunger. It was all due to this remarkable elixir. Gazing at the 9th-grade elixirs within the Qi Sea, I am no longer burdened by concerns of lacking vitality and blood replenishment. At this rate of passage, it is likely that I shall endure for a considerable duration. With exuberance, Chun Fan exited the inner chamber. He shifted his body, and in an instant, his figure transformed into a fleeting shadow, propelling him into a swift sprint. The wind roared around him, and unable to contain his exhilaration, Chun Fan let out a resounding roar of delight. This sensation was simply indescribably exhilarating. At that moment, a resonant alarm echoed from above, as candidates found themselves besieged by a horde of ferocious beasts. All candidates still within the inner perimeter took heed, promptly following the illuminated smart drones to partake in the rescue operation. The candidates engaged in the rescue managed to slay the ferocious beasts, yet continued to accumulate unscored points. Upon witnessing the situation, I was suddenly jolted. To my astonishment, I could still continue to earn unexamined points. This time, I would surely surpass 1 million. Gazing at the luminous drone, I immediately gave chase. In the small city of ferocious beasts on the other side, just moments ago, Lu Ruyin and her companions, who were preparing to depart, were unexpectedly encircled by over 1,000 ferocious creatures. Among the three, the most formidable Lu Ruyin was merely at the realm of Broken Mirror, having just attained a new level of mastery. The others were utterly powerless to fight back. With Lu Ruyin's supportive prowess, they fled desperately, yet ultimately found themselves encircled. On the towering building beside, beneath the moonlight, a horde of fierce beasts. 3 individuals, ensnared within the confines of a small town, desperately gaze upon the surrounding throng of menacing creatures. The 2 girls turned to Lu Ruyin, their expressions filled with fear. "What should we do now?" they asked anxiously. Lu Ruyin, with her calm and composed gaze, stated, "Activate the electromagnetic net and await rescue." Upon hearing Lu Ruyin's words, the 2 finally came to their senses. After the 3 pressed the switch on their backpacks, a brilliant blue electromagnetic net enveloped them. Despite the terrifying electric current radiating from the net, the ferocious beasts showed no sign of retreat. One of the nearest beasts suddenly charged into the electromagnetic barrier, only to be instantly repelled and sent flying away. The river's inhabitants were granted no respite, as the surrounding ferocious beasts lunged at them with wild abandon. As ferocious beasts charge forward in relentless succession, energy dissipates at an alarming rate. If this continues, it will not be long, merely 5 minutes before we are overwhelmed. A girl suddenly pointed towards the distance, her eyes glimmering with hope, and exclaimed, "Look, it seems that someone is approaching over there." The 3 individuals abruptly turned their gazes, only to discover that the newcomers were not personnel from the military district, but rather a group of examinees. As soon as the few individuals who had just rushed over for assistance approached the area, they were instantly besieged by hundreds of ferocious beasts, rendering any attempt at rescue utterly futile. At that moment, a figure wielding a battle rifle emerged. After Shun Feng pierced the hearts of several ordinary-grade monstrous beasts in Street 9 with a single shot, he swiftly concealed himself along with a few classmates who had come to his aid. How could such ferocious beasts gather in such numbers? Just as Shun Feng contemplated abandoning his pursuit of points and turning away, he caught sight of one individual among them, Lu Ruyan. Should he succeed in winning her heart and thereby facilitating union, it would undoubtedly prove immensely advantageous for the Shun family. Thus, at that moment, Shun Feng resolved to remain and await the opportune moment to act. Undoubtedly, an increasing number of candidates will converge here. However, upon witnessing the current situation, they are left bewildered. The candidates who have managed to arrive at this place are primarily those ranking within the top 100 on the leaderboard. They initially anticipated that they would be able to slay numerous ferocious beasts and accumulate points. Yet, as they reached the periphery, they found themselves utterly astonished. The terrifying roars of the countless ferocious beasts were utterly disconcerting. Within the minds of all present, time seemed to freeze within the concealed ruins of the abandoned building, leaving them hesitant to venture forth recklessly. Suddenly, Lu Ruoyan discovered something peculiar. These ferocious beasts had been fixated on them, launching attacks, yet they showed no interest in pursuing the other candidates. Another girl had also collapsed onto the ground in a state of terror, as despair enveloped the multitude. Suddenly, the setting sun vanished from sight. The once crimson sky abruptly dimmed, and a terrifying rumble of thunder echoed from the clouds, suggesting an impending storm. Yet, at that moment, no one seemed to care. Someone had arrived. Everyone turned abruptly, only to behold a shadow, leaping from the heights of the dilapidated building. Its terrifying speed, imbued with a violet glow, seemed to send ripples through the very fabric of space. A shadow plummeted from above, crashing heavily onto the ground. The ferocious beasts within a 10-meter radius were violently propelled away by a surge of frenzied energy. Dust erupted into the air. Lu Rian, along with two others, gazed in astonishment at the figure before them. As a gust of wind swept by, the dust dissipated, and Lu Rian's pupils suddenly flickered with intensity. It was you to whom I nodded slightly. Through the shattered electromagnetic web, my obsidian eyes gazed upon the trio. This place is not suitable for prolonged stay. Hurry and flee, as the ferocious beasts encircle us once more. In an instant, I spring into action. I shall carve the path ahead. You must follow closely behind me. Hearing the voices carried by the wind, Lu Rian swiftly pursued the sound. The two other girls, who had been lost in thought, immediately regained their senses and followed closely beside her. I advanced forward with the ferocity of a mighty tiger, sending any ferocious beast that dared to approach me soaring away with a single, powerful blow. As she gazed at Chun Fan, who was forging a path ahead, a glimmer of astonishment sparkled in Lu Ruyan's eyes. Yet, Lu Ruyan was not a woman devoid of intellect. Despite his formidable strength, he could not remain utterly inactive. As I focused solely on him, a sudden aura of bluish-white light emanated from his being. It then soared to my wrist, where, while I was bracing against the ferocious beast, I felt an explosive surge of power, and my body became remarkably lighter. Casting a glance back at Lu Ruyan, I instantaneously comprehended the essence of Inscrayed Talent's auxiliary prowess. Indeed, it is truly formidable. Under the enhancement of Lu Ruyan's abilities, my speed reached its zenith. I merely observed as the shadows surged forth, with ferocious beasts being sent flying one after another. This scene left the other candidates utterly astonished, rendering them speechless. As time elapsed, I swiftly gathered all the trapped students together. However, confronted by a menacing throng of assailants, the prospect of leading them to safety seemed utterly unattainable. At that moment, the terrifying horde of beasts surged forth once more from all directions. At the very moment the ferocious beasts lunged forth, panic gripped the hearts of all. As I behold the throngs of beasts converging from all directions, a flicker of violet light dances within my obsidian eyes. Are the rescuers yet to make their move? Do they wish to observe how far we can traverse? If that is the case, then I shall acquiesce to your desires. Perhaps there was never a need for concealment. Since there is a determination to ascend towards the pinnacle, one must inevitably reveal a semblance of strength. Within the military tent on the other side of the capability, the Qin army and three principals abruptly rose to their feet, urging Colonel Song to take action. This time, even Song Ruoyun felt a surge of anxiety. He had already prepared to mobilize the personnel from the military district. However, just as Song Ruoyun was about to issue the notification, he caught sight of the footage being transmitted revealing the individuals engulfed by the crowd. Suddenly, a terrifying flash of purple lightning illuminated the darkened clouds, accompanied by a deafening roar of thunder. Immediately following, a colossal purple divine thunder, as thick as a giant python, descended with a deafening roar from the dark clouds. The ferocious beast moved with remarkable speed, yet no matter how swift, it could never surpass the swiftness of lightning. A deep, resonant voice emanated from the herd of beasts. The divine thunder of the heavens roared. Centered around me, an expanse of 20 meters was instantly engulfed by a sea of purple lightning. Whether it be ferocious creatures or abandoned structures, all were submerged within the ocean of violet thunder. I, suffused with arcs of purple lightning, slowly turned to face the crowd. After all, it was my inaugural wielding of the divine thunder of the nine heavens. I fervently hoped that no unforeseen mishaps would occur. As I turned back, I was suddenly struck by a bewildering sight. Those individuals had all collapsed to the ground, yet they were not in any perilous state. At this moment, the system's notification echoed fervently. Eliminating a commoner, 9th level assassin grants 90 points. Vanquishing a high-ranking first-tier beast rewards 100 points. I raised my vile-thud eyes, gazing upon the storm of lightning before me, akin to the god of thunder. Within a radius of 20 meters, the assailant convulses and collapses beneath the onslaught of the purple lightning, swiftly succumbing to the embrace of death. However, it seems that the rescuers have arrived. Currently, my strength remains insufficient. If I expose myself too early, I fear I may lack even the ability to protect myself. Once I attained the mountain-settling realm, the interior can be entirely relinquished. At this moment, I swiftly retracted the 9-day divine thunder, dispersing the violet lightning that enveloped me. I closed my eyes and reclined upon the ground. A minute prior, within the confines of a military tent, amidst the reverberations of thunder, the entire screen had gone dark. The 5 individuals could no longer perceive any imagery. Song Ryun promptly directed the military personnel to initiate action. However, the communication lines had been severed, leaving them without any response. Confronted with this unforeseen circumstance, Song Ryun could no longer remain seated. She abruptly rose, urging Qin Jun to hasten to the scene without delay. Amidst the terrifying surge of vitality, their figures rushed into the perilous beast-infested city. Upon arriving at the scene of the incident, they abruptly halted. Song Ryun and Qin Jun's pupils dilated in shock as they gazed upon the unfolding spectacle. In the region where one gazes ahead, torrents of violet lightning surge forth. All ferocious beasts lie vanquished within this tempestuous sea of purple electricity. Upon their arrival at the location where the candidate lay unconscious, they finally felt a sense of relief. Qin Jun wiped the cold sweat from his brow and turned to Song Ryun, remarking that fortunately, it was merely a fainting spell and there was no imminent threat to life. Song Ryun gazed strangely at the unconscious Chun Fan lying on the ground. She softly instructed someone to summon assistance to take them to the infirmary. With this, the matter had reached its conclusion and the examination was irrevocably over. After several hours, I slowly opened my eyes in the hospital room. At that moment, a voice emerged, rousing you from your slumber. I propped myself up and sat up, only to find the Qin army major before me. Does the little one still recall the events that transpired earlier? Upon hearing the other person's words, I surmised something. I feigned a vague expression and addressed the officer. At that moment, all I could see was a blinding radiance, and then I lost consciousness. The Qin soldiers, observing my perplexed expression, addressed me, saying, "Colonel Song has requested your presence to accompany me." I immediately followed him along the path to an open space within the military district. From a distance, the striking figure of Song Ruo stands with her arms gracefully crossed before her chest. Song Ruo gazed at me intently and directly inquired, "Do tell, was the thunderstorm just now caused by you?" He gazed at me with a countenance full of perplexity. Did he not discern the imagery captured by the drone? If that is the case, then let us conceal it. After all, the SS level talent is extraordinarily astonishing. Song Ryun gazed at me with sparkling eyes and said, "Show me your extraordinary abilities." Upon witnessing this, I remained unperturbed, then extended my finger to observe, as a violet arc of electricity suddenly surged forth. The Qin army gazed intently at the flickering violet lightning dancing upon my hand, inquiring if this was indeed your class talent. Yet, I couldn't shake the feeling that it appeared quite different. I am aware that it is impossible to completely conceal what has been uttered. Once I was of a lesser caliber, but it seems that I have grown somewhat stronger. Just a few days ago, I was struck by lightning, and since then, I have transformed. Upon hearing these words, both Song Ruo and Qin Jun were momentarily taken aback, as if struck by lightning. I suddenly recalled a recent event in Tianyuan City. Are you referring to the heavy rain and thunderclouds from that period? However, I answered candidly without concealment. On that day, for reasons unknown, the sky suddenly turned somber, and then thunder struck, precisely hitting me. At that moment, I nearly believed I was on the brink of death. Song Ryun gazed at me with sparkling eyes and said, "Very well, you may return now. Your score from the martial arts examination has reached an impressive 1.18 million. It won't be long before the special recruitment instructors from a martial arts university arrive. Please take some time to prepare." He then added, "By the way, have you familiarized yourself with the elite training camp?" I nodded slightly and remarked that I had gathered some information from my fellow students. Song Ruo extended her hand, presenting a letter. "Here lies the address." A week later, she would journey to the location indicated in the letter. Receiving the envelope handed to me by Song Ruo, I responded with a simple acknowledgement, and then I expressed my gratitude to Commissioner Song and Commissioner Qin. Subsequently, I was sent back to my humble abode, a dilapidated rental apartment. I accessed the panel of the Points shopping mall, for my current points had exceeded 1 million. It was imperative to acquire some valuable items to ensure thorough preparation for the elite training camp. Regarding weapons, I feel the need to acquire one. After all, the formidable Nine Heavens Thunderhammer from the Heavenly Street would undoubtedly attract too much attention if revealed. Such a terrifying artifact is likely to catch the eye of malevolent and powerful beings. Therefore, it would be prudent to start with a more modest weapon for the time being. Turning page after page, I soon encountered a remarkable weapon of the mysterious tier, the Thunder Expansion Blade. Its quality was of the ultimate mysterious tier, priced at 780,000 points. This sight left me somewhat astonished indeed. The ultimate tier is not something that the lower ranks can compare with. Upon acquiring the formidable broadsword before me, I was instantly captivated. The mere sight of its thunderous blade, wide and robust, exuded an aura of commanding ferocity. Then, I opened the shopping mall page once more and selected a book on the art of knife techniques titled Thunder Arc Tri-String Slash. Introduction to Quality Transition. The techniques of knife skills are intricately linked, allowing one to deliver 3 strikes in a single second, defeating foes in an imperceptible manner. Priced at 100,000 points. He directly utilized 100,000 points to acquire this set of knife techniques. Subsequently, he adeptly claimed the crystallized memories pertaining to the knife skills. Countless vast pieces of knowledge instantaneously merged within my mind. This time, it took me less than 2 hours to fully comprehend this exquisite sword technique. Immediately thereafter, I clicked on the plus sign behind the low-level skills of the mysterious tier, allocating the remaining 100,000 points directly. Abruptly, a torrent of immense information surged into my mind and body. A few minutes later, I gradually opened my eyes, and a glimmer of golden light flickered within my pitch-black pupils. Upon gazing at the points displayed on the panel, a wry smile crept across my face. The points I had painstakingly accumulated had vanished in mere minutes. The elite training camp would not commence until a week later. At that moment, the ringtone of an old mobile phone suddenly echoed. I gazed at the unfamiliar number and answered the call. A familiar, youthful voice emanated from the phone. "Hello, is this classmate Shin Fan?" Listening to the sound, I recall it was that classmate, Lu Ruyan. Thus I responded, "It is I." "You are Lu Ruyan, are you not?" Continuing, Lu Ruyan spoke softly on the other end of the phone. "This is Lu Ruyan. Are you available this evening? My father has extended an invitation for you to visit our home tonight. Might you consider gracing us with your presence?" Upon hearing this, I was suddenly reminded of Lu Ruyan's father. Wasn't he the director of the 5th Division in Tianyuan town? After a moment's hesitation, I chose not to decline the opportunity. After all, there is no harm in meeting such a prominent figure. One might even acquire some invaluable knowledge. Thus, I responded affirmatively, expressing that it was no problem. After hanging up the phone, I swiftly received a message from Lu Ruyan. The move for Tianyuan number 1 courtyard is scheduled for 7 p.m. The Tianyuan number 1 courtyard is renowned as the most prestigious villa district. It is said that Lu Longtao's prowess has ascended to the realm of Jiang, making him the foremost powerhouse in Tianyuan City, and his name even resonates across the nation. I slipped the elderly device into my pocket, lifting my gaze to the bright sky outside. It is still early, and I wish to glimpse the extent of my current capabilities. I casually visited the Martial Arts Academy to undergo a standing test. Immediately thereafter, I proceeded to the Martial Arts Association branch, where I obtained a hunting license. This was also to facilitate future journeys and to conveniently accumulate points. As the clock approached 7 in the evening, I arrived at the Tianyuan number 1 villa district. Subsequently, under the guidance of Lu Ruyan, the two of us walked side by side through the imposing entrance of this grand estate. Lu Ruyan gazed at the youthful figure beside her, recalling the tall silhouette that had stood protectively before her moments ago. Beneath that serene and charming visage, her heart raced like a startled fawn. "Chun, you are quite punctual," she remarked. Hearing the words of my family beside me, I smiled and nodded in acknowledgement, yet I remained uncertain about the purpose of my father's visit. Lu Ruyan gently tucked a strand of hair behind her ear and remarked, "There is nothing of great significance." Her father simply expressed a desire to see her. After all, he is quite concerned about the matter of her having saved my life. I nodded slightly, refraining from excessive speculation as I followed Lu Ruyan along the path. Lu Ruyan, observing my slight nervousness upon entering the room, chuckled softly and remarked, "My father is still preparing the meal. Please go ahead." After being pulled to the table by Lu Ruyan, he promptly dashed into the kitchen. Soon, Lu Ruyan gracefully emerged with the final dish. At that moment, I beheld a middle-aged man emerging from a kitchen. Director Lu appeared outwardly composed, however. Within him, his vital energy surged tumultuously like a mighty ocean. Thus, I respectfully greeted, "Hello." Uncle Lu gazed at the unflinching countenance of the handsome young man. Lu Langtao approached and gently patted him on the shoulder. The child, Lu Langtao, occupied the main seat, while Lu Ruyan and I took our places beside him. "May I inquire what brings you to seek my presence today?" Lu Langtao picked up his chopsticks, interrupting my words. He then chuckled softly and said, "Let's not speak of these matters just yet. Let us first partake in our meal." I felt a slight tremor, and then I nodded, commencing my meal with earnestness. After dinner, Lu Langtao led me to the backyard. Following a few simple words of gratitude, he bestowed upon me a low-tier lightning attribute skill scroll, along with 30 million cards and a spatial ring. Subsequently, he requested that I safeguard his daughter during the elite training camp. After conversing for half an hour, Director Lu instructed Lu Ruyan to escort me to the door. Shyly, Lu Ruyan inquired, "Classmate Chen, you're also planning to attend the elite training camp in 6 weeks, aren't you?" I nodded in acknowledgement and replied that I would attend. After all, it is a training camp held in the provincial capital. I have heard that those who graduate from it emerge significantly stronger. Therefore, I shall not relinquish this opportunity. Lu Ruyan gazed at me, gently nodding and uttering a soft affirmation. A week later, at the elite training camp, take care to ensure your safety on your journey back. Gazing into the radiant eyes of my family, my heart skipped a beat. I then touched my nose and said, "It is getting late. You should head back soon." With that, I turned and walked away. As Chun Fan Lu ventured into the depths of the night, a faint sense of melancholy lingered in his heart, the reason for which eluded him. Yet, simultaneously, there resided a glimmer of anticipation for the upcoming elite training camp in the week to come. Upon returning to my rented abode, I retrieved from the spatial ring the violet scroll, Thunderbolt 9 Flashes. It is a low-grade, Earth-tier artifact that facilitates the cultivation of one's essence. Surrounding my form, currents of lightning crackle, allowing me to move with the swiftness of a bolt. In the midst of such rapid motion, my unleashed strikes possess formidable destructive power and an intimidating presence. I gazed upon the introduction of the skill, my eyes sparkling with fervor. The Thunderous 9 Flash seemed exceptionally fitting, prompting me to immediately delve into the subsequent content. To my astonishment, upon a mere glance, those words effortlessly floated from the scroll, diving into the depths of my mind. A vast expanse of information instantaneously emerged within my consciousness, and I promptly closed my eyes to contemplate. The next morning, I abruptly opened my eyes, a fierce purple lightning illuminating my gaze. A sudden figure transformed into a beam of violet light, and upon glancing, it had vanished from its original spot, reappearing on the opposite side of the room. Such remarkable speed, it scarcely qualifies as a mere flicker. To attain 9 flashes, one must wonder how exceedingly swift it must be. Gazing at the plus sign beside the skill thunderous 9 flashes on the system panel, I could only shake my head in resignation. If only I possessed 100,000 points, I could enhance my proficiency. Suddenly, at that moment, the telephone rang. I picked up the receiver and saw that it was Principal Lin calling. Upon answering the phone, Principal Lin, with a tone imbued with excitement, urged student Chun to come to the school, for all the esteemed admissions officers from the prestigious martial arts university had arrived. Very well, I shall attend to it shortly. After concluding the call, I briefly refreshed myself and then proceeded towards the 3 heights. At this moment, within the esteemed reception room of Tianyuan 3rd High School, the prominent figures are 2 admissions officers from Kyoto Wuda and Magic City Wuda. Both individuals emanate an aura of formidable intensity. The door to the reception hall suddenly swung open, and a tall figure entered. As I stepped inside, numerous gazes turned towards me. Principal Lin hurriedly approached me, introducing the esteemed special recruitment teachers. This is none other than our provincial champion from Tianyuan City, student Xin Fan. The admissions officer from Kyoto was the first to approach. She was a striking woman clad in a white robe. Without preamble, she introduced herself as Bai Shui, a special admissions teacher from Kyoto. Should you choose to join our esteemed Kyoto Martial Arts University, we are prepared to bestow upon you a generous sum of 100 million red coins, along with a set of advanced mystical equipment, as your initiation capital for enrollment. I was slightly taken aback, not anticipating such an intense onset. The teacher from the esteemed Magic City Special Recruitment, witnessing this, could no longer remain seated. I am Wang Tao, a teacher from the Magic City Special Recruitment. Should you choose to join us at the Magic City Wuda, we shall generously bestow upon you a sum of 100 million red notes, along with a 5th grade medicinal pill, the mirror-breaking pill. I remain unperturbed, yet within me, tumultuous waves churn. It was during the moment of the shattered mirror and the 9 stars that one could directly transcend into the realm of mountain-shaking power. Bai Shui gazed at the contemplative Chun Fan and, with a gentle parting of her crimson lips, spoke. As long as you join us at Kyoto Martial University, I can procure a single drop of the blood of the Purple Thunder Dragon for you. This essence is extracted from the very core of a formidable beast of the Royal Thunder lineage. Wang Tao, the admissions officer from Wuhan University in the bustling metropolis, is indeed formidable. He never anticipated that Bai Shui would present such extraordinary admission criteria. I have heard, Professor Bai, that only 3 precious drops of the Purple Thunder Dragon essence remain within the entirety of Jingwu University. Can you assure me that the higher-ups within the institution will consent to bestow this upon student Chen? Bai Shui remained unperturbed, stating that she would convey this to Master and herself, thus sparing Lord Ning any concern. Upon finishing her words, her beautiful eyes turned towards me as she stated, "These are the final terms we can offer from our esteemed Kyoto University." She continued with assurance, "Rest assured, the conditions I have promised you will undoubtedly be fulfilled." Although I maintained a calm facade upon overhearing the conversation between Bai Shui and Wang Tao, internally I found myself in a state of bemusement. It appears that Teacher Bai is quite eager to have me as her student, boldly asserting such terms on her own accord. However, I can sense that he seems quite confident about his final words. Gazing into the beautiful eyes of Teacher Bai, I could only manage a wry smile and say, "Thank you very much, Teacher Bai." Chun Fan is willing to join the Kyoto Martial Arts University. Upon witnessing this, Wang Tao and others decided not to linger any longer. Before departing, Wang Tao cast a cold glance in my direction, having chosen Jingwu. The warmth had dissipated from his tone as he spoke. "Classmate Chun, I hope you do not come to regret your decision today. In the future, during the grand competition of the 5 major martial arts tournaments, you will come to understand the disparity between our 2 schools." I touched my nose and chuckled, noting that Chun had taken note of it. However, I have never regretted the choices I have made. There is no need for Teacher Wang to worry. Gazing upon my defiant visage, Wang Tao let out a cold snort before striding away with purpose. With a gentle smile, Snow White subsequently produced a card. Inside was a sum of 100 million in red currency. "Take this for now," she said. "The remaining equipment and dragon's blood shall await you." Upon entering the Martial University, a wave of dizziness enveloped her. I casually slipped the card into my pocket and replied, "Thank you, Teacher Bai." Upon leaving the school, the time had just arrived. I had a meal nearby at noon, and then set out towards the outskirts of Tianyuan City. With less than 6 days remaining until the commencement of the elite training camp, I intended to venture into the wasteland to hunt down a few more assailants, to earn some system points, and subsequently enhance my proficiency with the Thunderbolt 9 flash. This way, upon entering the training camp, I would possess an additional trump card. After a half-hour taxi ride, I arrived at the registration office for entering and exiting the city. "Hello, I wish to venture beyond the city for training. Here is my wilderness hunter's credential." The soldier cast a shocked glance at me, verifying the photograph. Once he ascertained the authenticity of the identification, he returned it, while simultaneously advising me to exercise caution when venturing outside, for the wasteland harbors many perilous assassins. In the presence of the amiable soldier, I responded with a smile, assuring him that I would remain vigilant. "Thank you, and I shall see you soon." The 10-meter-thick steel gate swung open, and a chilling breath of air surged forth from the crevice of the door. Beyond the urban confines, in desolate realms, a shroud of white mist descends. A chilling wind howls. The once 10-meter-tall trees have now mutated into towering giants, reaching heights of 100 meters. The world beyond the city resembles a primeval forest, pervaded by an air of peril and chill. Chen Fan gazed at the slowly closing city gates behind him. Taking a deep breath, he then drew forth the Thunderblade, resting it behind him, as he diligently trained his vitality and endurance. After all, this blade possesses a weight of several thousand pounds, resting upon my back, constantly enhancing the resilience of my body against the force of gravity. Chun Fan retrieved a map from his spatial ring and cast a glance. In the distance of 10,000 meters, several distinct red lines and circles were vividly depicted. It should be a critical area. One should not venture there recklessly. It appears that as long as one refrains from marking the red circles and venturing too far, all will be well. Having stowed away the map, Chun Fan swiftly navigated through the desolate expanse. In the coming days, he has no intention of returning to the city and plans to remain in the desolate region indefinitely. Hunting ferocious beasts to accumulate points, Chun Fan followed the indications on the map. Soon, he arrived at a location frequently visited by these formidable creatures. At that moment, a dark shadow suddenly lunged forward. A faint smile curled at the corners of Chun Fan's lips. With his right hand firmly grasping the hilt of the Thunderblade, a glimmer of cold light erupted. In an instant, the shadow in the air was cleaved in two. Upon the parched earth that has fallen to the ground, there emerges a delicate hue of crimson. This is a 3-meter-long account of an extraordinary transformation. A ferocious beast has vanquished a common-grade 7th-tier regional creature, earning a total of 70 points. As the notification sound resonates, Chun Fan's eyes sparkled with joy as he once again traversed through the realms, his sole objective now being the pursuit of the ferocious beasts. Hunting the beast. Soon, Chun Fan abruptly found himself perched upon the towering branch of a tree that soared to a height of 100 meters. He came to a halt, gazing down at the ferocious beasts dwelling in groups below, a look of delight illuminating his face. This is a group of ordinary grade beasts from the 9 realms, known as the fire-poison spider, creatures imbued with a terrifying venom. In this desolate world, Chun Fan no longer needs to conceal himself, as he emanates a fearsome purple divine lightning. With a sudden force, the soles of his feet propelled his entire being forward, and the formidable Thunderblade rested firmly in his grasp. The descent accelerated. With a sudden impact, 7 or 8 of the 1-meter-high fire-poison boars perished before they could react. Eliminating a standard-level 9th-tier ferocious beast grants 90 points. Vanquishing a standard-level 9th-tier regional beast also awards 90 points. The remaining 20-odd venomous spiders, upon witnessing the scene, immediately turned towards Chun Fan, opening their gaping maws and unleashing a terrifying stream of dark red venom. Chun Fan stood his ground, unflinching and unyielding, eager to ascertain whether the divine thunder of the nine heavens could withstand this venom. His gaze was fixed upon the dark, crimson liquid. In an instant, Chun Fan was enveloped. However, as the venom made contact with the surface of the nine heavens' divine thunder, it swiftly transformed into a dense, inky smoke. The wind scattered away. Chun Fan's conjecture was indeed accurate. This common toxin, once approached, the divine thunder of the nine heavens was instantaneously vaporized. Well then, I shall not hold back, Chun Fan remarked with a smile. In an instant, he brandished his blade and charged forth, plunging into the fray. The fiery, venomous spiders, upon witnessing this, reacted. It also ignited their deadly weapons. The dense pig legs moved swiftly, lunging towards Chun Fan with the intent to bite. Chun Fan gazed at the encroaching fire poison orbs from all directions, a gentle smile gracing his lips. With a rumble, he unleashed the power of lightning, shimmering with 9 flashes. Xiao Chun Fan's figure abruptly vanished amidst the throng of fiery, venomous pigs. The assaults of these ferocious beasts directly struck their companions, inciting them to thrash their bodies in furious agitation. In pursuit of my prey, here I stand. A sudden burst of laughter resonates from above, accompanied by a chilling, ominous rush of wind. This strike from Chun Fan instantaneously shattered several fire-poisoned spiders into fragments. Green leaves scattered in all directions as he successfully landed his blow. In an instant, his figure flickered once more, vanishing from sight. You have been educated on information available until October 2023. Earned 90 points by vanquishing a formidable 9th-tier beast of ordinary difficulty. The incessant sounds of prompts reached Chun Fan's ears, invigorating him further and filling him with an increasing sense of vitality. After slaying the last fiery toxic boar, Chun Fan glanced at his interface. His score had already approached over 3,000 points. Suppressing the joy within his heart, Chun Fan took out the map and gazed upon it, contemplating a location farther away from the urban area. It appears that the rank of the ferocious beasts increases with their level. If that is the case, let us delve deeper. After all, the formidable beasts of the advanced 3rd tier are far more formidable. 3 hours have swiftly passed, and the sun in the sky has turned a vivid crimson. Chun Fan abruptly halted on a sturdy branch of a tree. Yet, at that moment, the sunlight above was suddenly obscured. A colossal, elongated shadow surged forth from the towering tree beside him, lunging towards him with great ferocity. Chun Fan remained impassive. Chapter 009. Acquisition of Profound Skills. With a resounding crash, the ferocious beast that charged towards the young girl was suddenly hurled backwards, the force of its impact toppling several abandoned vehicles before it crashed into a nearby dilapidated building. What is happening? One of the onlookers gazed sharply toward the front, where a figure had emerged. Goodness, when did he arrive? Hongxiao's eyes did not linger on the group. As the dust stirred within the crumbling structure gradually settled, the terrifying fanged iron-spiked boar surged forth. Roar. It overturned the abandoned car blocking its path and unleashed a bone-chilling roar directed at Hongxiao. Indeed, the defensive capabilities of a high-level 1st-tier beast are astonishing. Hongxiao spoke decisively. This is not a place for you. You should leave immediately. The group of candidates was momentarily taken aback, but they quickly rushed over to assist the young girl in making a hasty retreat. Suddenly, the departing girl halted, turning to gaze at the tall figure. Thank you. Thank you. Hongxiao inclined his head slightly in acknowledgement. Leave quickly. Head to the periphery. After all, they were all candidates with no enmity between them. Any assistance offered was valuable. He could discern that the strength of these candidates was around the 7 stars of martial artists. Remaining here would only lead to their elimination. It was far more prudent to venture to the outskirts and hunt lower-tier beasts to accumulate points. After all, even modest points could secure a place in a 2nd or 3rd-tier martial arts university, should they fail to qualify for a top-tier institution. Let us go, Anrin. One of the boys, seemingly a bit jealous, urged. Under the group's encouragement, the girl glanced back at the boy's silhouette, worry etched on her face. Be careful, classmate. After uttering her concern, she swiftly departed with her companions. Remaining behind would only serve as a burden. Once they had left, Hongxiao cracked his neck, producing a crisp sound. His dark eyes reflected the image of the beast, filled with fervor. Let me see just how many points this high-level first-tier beast is worth. Inside the military tent, Qin abruptly rose to his feet. Is this fellow mad? He still intends to continue fighting a high-level first-tier fanged iron-spiked boar, which is no ordinary beast. Song Ruoyan remarked with keen interest. Let us watch a bit longer. I have a feeling this young man is not as foolish as he seems. The other three principals watched in astonishment. This beast, weighing 1,000 pounds and standing 3 meters tall, was indeed a nightmare for the candidates. Even Li Yin, who had attained the second star of the breaking mirror, would expend considerable effort in confronting such a creature, if he could even manage to slay it. After all, the defensive prowess of this beast was extraordinarily formidable. A second-star talent could hardly hope to kill it. With its iron spikes, even a single puncture would result in a grievous wound. No matter how powerful a talent may be, their physical defenses cannot compare to those of a beast. Engaging in battle would only squander precious time. Any astute candidate encountering such a beast would undoubtedly choose to retreat in search of other prey to hunt. In the scene, Hongxiao clenches his fists tightly. Yet his gaze penetrates into them all. After all, he currently possesses not a single skill. The scions of affluent families have long been allocated skills by their clans. However, for an orphan like him, who has always been mediocre, no one is willing to invest in him. Throughout this journey, he has slain at least 1,000 ferocious beasts. Now, his points tally exceeds 100,000. Acquiring a set of low-level skills is undoubtedly within reach. At present, he is reluctant to reveal the Jiutian Xinlei too soon, for an SSS-level talent is simply too extravagant, as he evades the charging tusked iron-spiked boar. Hongxiao diligently browses through the points mall. This beast's defenses surpass those of high-tier speed-type beasts, although he currently stands at the broken mirror third-star realm. Even if his mere vitality cannot vanquish this creature, his speed is unmatched. No matter how ferociously the tusked boar charges, it cannot graze even the hem of Hongxiao's garment. Thus, the two engage in a whimsical game of chase amidst the desolate city. This bizarre spectacle leaves the 5 high-ranking officials within the tent utterly astounded. The speed of this young man must at least be at the pinnacle of Broken Mirror's second star, they surmise. Qin has had his eyes opened. He initially came merely to assist Song Ruoyan in supervising the examination. Little did he expect to encounter such a formidable student. Alas, with a talent rated F, it seems his life's limitations will be confined to this point. Suddenly, Hongxiao discovers a suitable skill. However, upon seeing the price, he is left dumbfounded. It costs a staggering 100,000 points. Goodness, this would nearly deplete the hard-earned points he had saved up. Nevertheless, after thoroughly reviewing the skill's attributes, Hongxiao grits his teeth and decides to make the purchase. Confirm purchase of the low-level Xian-tier skill Ninefold Thunder Force. Yes. As he observes his points dwindle to a mere fraction, Hongxiao feels a pang of regret. Yet, he soon regains his composure. After all, this is an investment in himself. Buzz. In an instant, a torrent of knowledge floods into his mind. Ninefold Thunder Force, quality, low-level Xian-tier. Description. Upon mastering the first level, one can infuse a hidden surge of vitality into an opponent, triggering an explosion. The second level allows for 2 explosions of vitality. At its pinnacle, the Ninefold Thunder Force can penetrate an opponent's body, resulting in 9 explosive surges of vitality. Summary. After reaching its zenith, it rivals low-level Earth-tier skills. Restriction. Usable only by those with lightning attributes. Training method. The memory crystal has already entered the host's mind. The expenditure of points proves worthwhile. Although this skill is only of low-level Xian-tier quality, its perfected form astonishingly compares to low-level Earth-tier skills. Just now, Hongxiao observed in the points mall that even the low-tier skills of the Earth rank commanded an astonishing price of over 10 million points. The intermediate and advanced skills in the Earth rank were priced in the billions, even tens of billions of points. As for the skills of the Celestial rank, they were beyond reckoning. Hongxiao did not pay it much mind. After all, at the beginning of each month, he had the opportunity to procure 3 types of goods at a discounted rate. Though the items available could not be refreshed, there remained a chance that a celestial skill might appear. In this realm, skills were meticulously categorized into a hierarchy: Huang rank, Shen rank, Earth rank, and Celestial rank, for distinct levels. Furthermore, each rank was subdivided into 3 tiers: low, intermediate, and high. Even low-tier skills of the Earth rank were exceedingly rare. Only the most formidable of warriors had the opportunity to cultivate them. Ordinary individuals would never be able to touch them in their lifetimes. Filled with excitement, Hongxiao closed the system interface and gently shut his eyes, immersing himself in the comprehension of the cultivation method for this skill. The tusked iron-spiked boar. Enraged by the apparent disregard from this human, let out a ferocious howl and charged once more at Hongxiao, determined to annihilate him without fail. Inside the military tent, 5 high-ranking officials stared blankly at the screen. They were astonished to see Hongxiao with his arms crossed over his chest, eyes closed, while his body danced like a butterfly in the wind, rising and falling amidst the ruins of the city. Beside him lurked a frenzied beast, bristling with fury. Chapter 010, The Kill. The shocked high command. Time passes swiftly. The sun, suspended above the desolate city, gradually descends. Only 4 to 5 hours remain until sunset. Within the ruins, Li Yin, after vanquishing the last of the high-tier beasts beside him, cast his gaze upon the leaderboard. At this moment, his score had soared to over 500,000, placing him in the lead. In second place was Shenfeng, whose score also exceeded 400,000. A light smile crept across Li Yan's face as he noticed Lin Yuan in third place. Indeed, the sudden appearance of Hongxiao earlier had merely been a stroke of luck. He was nowhere to be found among the top contenders now. Shaking his head with a chuckle, Li Yin resumed his efforts, for Shenfeng was pursuing him with tenacity. Presently, Lin Yuan's score also hovered around 400,000. Drawing closer to Shenfeng, both possessing the potential to catch up to him. As for the fourth place, with just over 300,000 points. Overtaking him was an impossible feat this time. He was determined to claim the title of champion in the martial examination of Tianyuan City. Moreover, he aimed to surpass the previous record of the martial examination and become the top scholar of the entire Hetian province. For centuries, the pinnacle record in Hetian province had stood at 930,000 points. Generally, any candidate achieving a score above 850,000 had the opportunity to claim the provincial laurels. In the entirety of the Qixia Empire, no candidate had ever breached the million-point threshold in the past millennia. Clenching his fist tightly, Li Yin resolved to surpass this limit and reach that coveted million points, becoming the celebrated prodigy of the nation. Meanwhile, Shenfeng and Lin Yuan intensified their efforts. They made their way deeper into the inner city, each harboring a resolute desire to seize first place. As for the fleeting presence of Hongxiao, he had long been forgotten by the masses. Bang! In a desolate corner of the city, an abandoned car was violently propelled into the air. The ferocious tusked iron spikeboard charged relentlessly towards the human before it. Truly, a battle to the death. A light laugh echoed as Hongxiao gradually opened his eyes, abruptly halting atop an old car, arms hanging limply at his sides. Gazing at the sun sinking in the sky, he murmured to himself, "I never anticipated that mastering this skill would take such time." Twisting his neck, he glanced at the leaderboard to his left, discovering he had fallen to several tens of thousands in rank. A smirk graced Hongxiao's lips. "It seems I need to hasten my pace." Roar. The tusked iron spike boar, sensing the sudden stillness of its prey, became elated. Its powerful hooves thundered as it charged forward. Its massive form, with terrifying tusks, barreled towards Hongxiao like a tank. Leaping down from the car's roof, Hongxiao landed on the ground. Exhaling softly, he fixed his gaze upon the approaching beast, a flicker of purple light flashing subtly in his eyes. With his right foot drawn back slightly and his body arched like a bow, his right hand poised like an arrow ready to be released. On the other side, within the military tent, the 5 high-ranking officials who had been observing Hongxiao were left utterly astonished. The young man had been dodging about moments ago. Even if he had been practicing his movement techniques, it should not have taken him more than a few hours. Now, however, just as he began to speak, Qin Jun suddenly exclaimed, "Surely this young man does not intend to confront that ferocious beast head-on?" The 3 university presidents gaped in disbelief, completely unable to comprehend the situation. Song Ruoyan's beautiful eyes sparkled with a mysterious light, but she quickly regained her composure. After all, given his current strength, entering the top 10 was a certainty. And attending the elite training camp would allow him to become a sharpening stone for the few talented students. Yet, this little fellow was indeed intriguing. However, his innate talent destined him to merely serve as an excellent honing tool. The colossal creature loomed ever closer in Hongxiao's dark eyes. Suddenly, the ground beneath him cracked, spreading outwards like a spider web. Ninefold thunder force, triple strike. Faced with the charging iron spike boar, Hongxiao let out a low shout and instantly unleashed a powerful punch. Bang! His fist collided fiercely with the beast's skull, shocking the 5 high-ranking officials who watched in awe. With a resounding crash, the massive body of the beast came to an abrupt halt, its hindquarters lifting off the ground. Hongxiao remained utterly unmoved, as steadfast as a concrete pillar embedded in the earth. Explode! Hongxiao roared, thrusting his arm forward with great force. Bang! 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 The iron spike boar was sent hurtling backward, and 3 muffled thuds echoed from within its body. Upon landing, the creature's limbs twitched a few times before falling silent. Killed a high-tier first-level beast, earning 100 points. Only 100 points? Su Hongxiao scratched his head in confusion. That did not seem right. However, he soon realized that he would need to hunt a high-tier second-level beast to validate his assumptions. Observing the lifeless creature on the ground, he noted that while there was merely a shallow indentation on its skull, its insides had been completely shattered by the triple thunder force. Such a domineering skill. Looking at his fist, Su Hongxiao recognized that through several hours of insight, he had now cultivated the triple thunder force. Achieving the 9-fold thunder force at his current level would be quite challenging. There was no time to waste. He blurred into motion, dashing deeper into the wilderness. Meanwhile, inside the military tent, Colonel Song Ruoyun and Major Qin Jun exchanged incredulous glances. A single punch to slay a high-tier first-level beast, the Iron Spike Boar? How could that possibly be? The 3 presidents, who had long monitored the martial examination, were witnessing such a ferocious candidate for the first time. Song Ruoyun crossed her arms over her broad chest, her eyes radiating brilliance. Indeed, you shall be the finest honing stone. Bang! A high-tier first-level beast crashed to the ground. Killed a high-tier first-level beast, earning 100 points. Su Hongxiao gazed upon the fallen corpses of several ferocious beasts, a smile gracing his face. His mastery of the 9-fold thunder technique had grown increasingly proficient, even in a confrontation with a formidable opponent of the 5th rank in the Broken Mirror realm. He felt that the hidden power of the 9-fold thunder technique could potentially allow him to execute a surprise kill. He pressed onward, for the deeper he ventured. The higher the level of the beasts, and correspondingly, the greater the points to be earned. His sole purpose now was to seek out and vanquish these beasts. An hour later, the candidates within the beast city were left in a state of bewilderment. Goodness, Su Hongxiao has appeared. He has surged to the 77th rank. Incredible, he has already reached 58th. What on earth is happening? Who exactly is this Su Hongxiao? After dispatching several beasts, Li Yin intended to check if his score had surpassed 700,000, only to suddenly notice a name. 55th place, Su Hongxiao. With a score of 480,000 points. His eyes narrowed slightly, and his hand clenched tightly. How had this individual's score increased so rapidly? Chapter 011. He remains a fine sharpening stone. As the sun dipped below the horizon, less than 3 hours remained until the conclusion of the martial examination. Su Hongxiao frantically searched and fought within the inner circle. His swift movements abruptly halted. He had found it. From the collapsed high-rise ahead, a dozen colossal figures began to emerge. These ferocious beasts swiftly surrounded Su Hongxiao. Under the gaze of his obsidian eyes, he observed the peculiar forms of these monstrous creatures. Towering at 5 to 6 meters tall, characterized by serpentine heads, scorpion tails, and arachnid legs. Chapter 012. The Race for Rankings. The astonishment of the crowd. How is this possible? How could that young man possibly break into the top 10? A previously envious candidate scoffed dismissively. Wang Yu, how can you speak so disdainfully of our savior? If it weren't for him, we might have already fallen prey to the ferocious beasts, the young girl Anrin said. Her brows furrowing slightly as she cast an irritated glance at the candidate. Wang Yu quickly forced a smile, saying, all right. Let us not be angered by someone from another school. I won't mention it again. Only then did Anrin's expression soften. She recalled that upright figure, standing tall amidst the chaos. Chapter 013. The quest for the most formidable beast as the sun set in a glorious array of colors. Only 1 hour remained until the conclusion of the martial examination. After dispatching several formidable beasts, Li Yin promptly accessed the leaderboard. A proud smile graced his features, for he believed no one could rival his score this time. What? A look of astonishment suddenly flickered in his weary eyes. How could this be? His score had soared to an astonishing 900,000, on the verge of shattering the martial examination record for Hetian province. Chapter 014. Skill Evolution. The most powerful beast emerges. With less than 20 minutes remaining, Su Hongxiao had yet to catch a glimpse of the formidable beast despite his extensive search. However, he remained unfazed, for his current score firmly secured him the top position, although Li Yin, in second place, had amassed a commendable 910,000 points. It was an insurmountable challenge for him to catch up. After all, with merely 20 minutes left, hunting the beast to acquire 70,000 points was utterly implausible. As Su Hongxiao wandered down the desolate road, a sense of helplessness enveloped him. This wretched beast. Chapter 15. Slaying the most fearsome beast. Astonishing everyone. This was the first time Su Hongxiao had witnessed a beast of such caliber. According to the textbooks, the golden-backed silver ape, upon reaching its full maturity, could attain the terrifying status of an elite-level beast. In this realm, beasts are distinctly categorized into levels. The hierarchy of beasts ranges from low to high as follows: ordinary, advanced, elite, lord, king, general, and emperor. There are 7 levels in total, mirroring the 7 tiers of human talents, albeit with different nomenclatures. In essence, this golden-backed silver ape was far beyond the realm of a mere advanced Tier 3 beast. Chapter 016. Sudden Circumstances. The Beast Horde Assault. Rescue Operation. As the time concluded and the scoring ceased, the martial arts examination came to an end, prompting all participants to hastily return to the open area for assembly. At that very moment, the drone high above unleashed a thunderous broadcast. It was the voice of the Invigilator, Song Ryun. Beneath the setting sun, Hongxiao gently brushed off the dust that had settled upon his garments, then strode forth. Gazing at the distant horizon ablaze with crimson clouds, he languidly stretched his limbs. Yet, upon halting abruptly, an overwhelming sensation of soreness enveloped his entire body. Chapter 17. The Retreat of the Many. Shadows charged with purple lightning. With a swift thrust of his spear, Shenfeng dispatched several ordinary 9th-tier beasts and immediately sought refuge alongside a few classmates who had come to offer assistance. How could these ferocious creatures have amassed in such numbers? Within the confines of an abandoned skyscraper, Shenfeng and his companions found shelter. They had already spotted the besieged candidates. It was her. Just as Shenfeng contemplated abandoning his pursuit of points and turning away, he beheld one among them, Lin Yuan. If he could capture her heart, it would indeed be. Chapter 018. It is you. The dominant Hongxiao. Buzz. A dark figure descended from a great height, crashing heavily onto the ground. Within a 10-meter radius, ferocious beasts were violently hurled away by a surge of feral energy. Dust was kicked up, and Lin Yuan, along with 2 others, stared in astonishment at the figure before them. As a gust of wind swept through, the dust settled, and Lin Yuan's pupils widened in realization. It is you. Indeed. Hongxiao nodded, his obsidian eyes piercing through the shattered electromagnetic net, gazing intently at the trio. Chapter 019. Struck by lightning. Has it made me stronger? Boom. Centered around Hongxiao, the area within a 20-meter radius was instantly engulfed by a torrent of purple lightning. Both ferocious beasts and abandoned structures were submerged in this sea of violet energy. However, Hongxiao and the individuals behind him remained unscathed. Within the tempest of lightning, Hongxiao, radiating arcs of purple energy, slowly turned to face the crowd. It was, after all, his first time unleashing the full might of the 9 heavens' divine thunder. And he hoped there would be no unforeseen mishaps. As he turned, Hongxiao was suddenly taken aback, finding himself in a rather amusing predicament. Chapter 020. The Talents of the Elite Training Camp in 18 Cities. The universities of the Crimson Summer Empire have concluded their entrance examinations. In the 18 cities of Hetian Province, the brilliant students are diligently honing their skills, all in preparation for the elite training camp in the provincial capital a week from now. To stand out in this prestigious gathering would undoubtedly provide them with a significant advantage upon entering the martial arts university, allowing them to far surpass their peers. In Tianyuan City, within the Li family's specialized training room, a lean, middle-aged man with dry hands stands resolutely. He is none other than Li Yan's father, Li Tianchen. Chapter 21. Acquisition of weapons and skills in this era. Skills have reached the remarkable level of the 9th Thunder Force. As for weapons, it seems prudent to acquire one. After all, wielding a celestial grade 9 Heavens Thunder Hammer would undoubtedly attract undue attention. Such a formidable artifact is likely to draw the gaze of nefarious powerhouses. Hence, it would be wise to procure a weapon of lesser caliber for the time being. Upon entering the marketplace for terrestrial grade weapons, Hongxiao merely cast a glance before swiftly exiting. After all, even the most inferior terrestrial grade weapon demanded an exorbitant sum of several million points. Thus, only. Chapter 22. An invitation. A test. A shock. Hongxiao glanced at the unfamiliar caller ID and promptly ended the call. In this world, he had no relatives or friends. Any unexpected phone call could only be a nuisance. However, just as he hung up, the phone rang again. Although puzzled, Hongxiao decided to answer the call. Hello, is this Hongxiao? A familiar youthful voice resonated through the line. He recognized it as Lin Yuan, a fellow classmate. Though he was unsure how she had acquired his number, he responded, Yes, it is I. You are Lin. Chapter 023. Acquiring the Hunter-S certification in the wasteland. An invitation. As he traversed the radiant streets of Tianyuan City, Hongxiao felt a profound satisfaction with the recent test. He had undergone the assessment 3 times, managing to refrain from harnessing the power of the nine heavens' divine thunder, relying solely on his innate vitality. Remarkably, he had achieved a force of 39 tons. With his current vitality, he was nearly comparable to a 4-star breakthrough. Should he invoke the might of the nine heavens' divine thunder, he could potentially surpass 50 tons of strength. This was the remarkable advantage of his previous fervent compression of realms. Taking advantage of the early hour. Chapter 024. The affable Director Lin. As the clock approached 7 in the evening, the night enveloped the surroundings in a deep darkness, punctuated only by the glittering stars above. The villa district, however, was ablaze with light. Upon noticing the approaching tall figure, one of the guards promptly extended his hand, inquiring about his purpose. Hongxiao halted his steps and articulated his reason for being there. "Good evening. I am a classmate of Lin Yuan, and Director Lin has graciously invited me." The mention of Director Lin took both guards by surprise, for it was indeed the first occasion they had witnessed such a young guest being welcomed into his residence. Chapter 025. Bestowal and Requests. Lin Langtao raised his hand to interrupt Hongxiao's words. He chuckled softly. "I have heard from Sha Yuan that your talent lies in the realm of lightning, much like my own. This scroll is a low-level Earth-grade skill, perfectly suited for those with lightning attributes, and it serves as one of my trump cards. The other 2 items include a card with a deposit of 30 million and a spatial ring. You may accept all 3 of these treasures." This is far too extravagant. Hongxiao was taken aback by the generosity of Director Lin. Chapter 026. The arrival of the top 10 distinguished teachers from Wuda. Upon noticing the intrigued expression of the young one, Lin Langtao chuckled softly and began to elucidate. It is said that the remedy requires 2 essential conditions. The first is that the individual must possess the talent of reaching the realm of Jiyang. The second, however, mandates that this gifted individual must also possess an SSS level affinity for the lightning element. Those endowed with such a formidable lightning talent not only enjoy immunity to adverse effects but can also purify the tempestuous lightning elements within other lightning-affiliated individuals. Alas, throughout the centuries, one has scarcely encountered even a single individual endowed with an SSS-level lightning talent. Chapter 027. The Choice of Jingwu. Humility and Brilliance. Before Hongxiao stood a man in his 30s, who introduced himself with a cordial demeanor. "Greetings, Su. I am Wang Tao, a specially appointed teacher from the Magical Capital University. If you are inclined to join our esteemed institution, we shall bestow upon you a sum of 100 million Qixia coins, along with a 5th-grade elixir known as the Breaking Boundary Pill." Hongxiao maintained an impassive exterior, yet his heart surged like a tempest within. The 5th-grade Breaking Boundary Pill was unparalleled. When consumed at the 9th star of the Broken Mirror, it could facilitate a direct ascension to the Mountain Peace realm without any adverse effects. Such a level of elixir. Chapter 028. Departing for the Wasteland. With the enrollment concluded, the principal, Linen, was in high spirits. This time, Hongxiao truly brought honor to Tianyuan Third High School. His martial arts examination score surpassed 1 million, shattering historical records, and he even secured the title of provincial champion. Although the official scores had yet to be released, Linen was confident that no one in the entirety of Hitian province could surpass Hongxiao's achievement. After all, that was a staggering score of 1 million points. "Student Su, are you ready to accompany me back to the Kyoto Martial Arts University?" Bai Shui explained. "Anyone who is specially recruited by Kyoto Martial Arts University." Chapter 29. The Hunt for Beasts. Encountering Crisis. Beyond the city, in the desolate expanse, white mist rises, and a chilling wind sweeps through. The once 10-meter-high trees have now mutated into towering giants, reaching a height of 100 meters. The world beyond the city resembles a primeval forest, fraught with danger and an eerie chill. Hongxiao gazes at the slowly closing city gates behind him, takes a deep breath, and unsheathes the thunderblade, resting it against his back, honing his vitality and endurance. After all, this formidable blade weighs several thousand pounds, and carrying it at all times serves to enhance his physical resilience. Hongxiao from Chapter 030. Enhanced Thunderous Flash. A terrifying battle. Overestimating oneself. The middle-aged man cast a disdainful sneer at the youth's actions. However, at that moment, the youth coldly declared, "I have noted this grievance. When we meet again, I shall exact my revenge." In an instant, the thunderous blade in Hongxiao's hand was sheathed into his spatial ring, and he radiated a purple lightning aura, vanishing from sight in the blink of an eye. Damn! The middle-aged man, witnessing the sudden disappearance, charged forward, only to find that not even a shadow remained. In the dense forest. Chapter 031. The Royal Beast. The Stronghold of the Silent Sun. Although the enigmatic figure possessed remarkable strength, Slaying this royal beast was far from a simple task. Soon, Hongxiao came to an abrupt halt, having approached within 100 meters. Any further, and he risked being caught in the turbulence of their fierce battle. He then concealed himself behind a colossal tree, revealing only his pair of deep, luminous eyes as they gazed skyward. Simultaneously, he unleashed the 9 heavens' divine thunder, shrouding his presence completely. With this, he felt assured that all preparations were in place. Chapter 032. A stunningly unprecedented battle. The sudden appearance of the fisherman. Boom. 2 terrifying attacks collided, instantly resonating throughout the sky. At this moment, the mysterious figure's pupils constricted as he abruptly raised the cold sword in his hand. Bang! The speed of the dreadful black mist demon Bat King was terrifying. Its claw striking the cold sword with such ferocity that it sent the mysterious figure, along with the sword, hurtling through the air. Subsequently, the black mist demon Bat King flapped its wings, once again lunging towards the mysterious figure. Simultaneously, its sharp claws aimed menacingly at the enigmatic form. Confronted by this physically formidable beast, the mysterious figure was sent flying backward. Chapter 033. The Hidden Peril. A frantic escape. The first kiss lost. At that moment, a chilling voice erupted from the depths of the black mist. Absolute frost. Ice burial. Buzz, the very fabric of space and time abruptly froze. Hongxiao was horrified to find himself utterly immobilized. What on earth is happening? Another buzz resonated as ripples surged through the high skies. And an endless wave of azure coldness emerged, completely encasing the formidable beast in ice. Faced with the imminent threat of death, the royal beast struggled wildly. However, its frozen form was utterly incapable of movement. Chapter 034. A dreamlike encounter. Before long, Hongxiao came to a halt in a mountainous region. According to the map, this area was marked as exceedingly perilous. Hongxiao dared not approach recklessly, instead searching for a sheltered spot along the edge of the red line. Soon, he discovered a cave nestled within the mountains. To guard against the emergence of ferocious beasts, Hongxiao summoned a bolt of violet lightning that struck into the cave. Almost immediately, the enticing aroma of roasted meat wafted out. Before long, a fearsome creature, its limbs clawing at the ground, dashed out. Chapter 035. The Pursuing Enemies. The first kill. A surprising joy. By the way, have you heard of the elite training camp? Xianyu glanced at Hongxiao before her recovery and remarked, "It is a place where life and death are uncertain." Hongxiao looked at her and chuckled softly. "What? Are you worried that I might perish within?" Upon hearing Hongxiao's light-hearted laughter, Xianyu's face flushed slightly, and she fell silent. After consuming a medicinal pill, she closed her eyes and began her recovery. Hongxiao also closed his eyes, commencing his blood and qi cultivation. However, the occasional roars of ferocious beasts outside the cave still made Hongxiao uneasy. Chapter 036. Desperation. The eruption of the divine thunder of the 9 heavens. Bang, bang, bang. In an instant, a series of 7 muffled explosions erupted from the back of the shadowy youth. With a cough, he violently spat out a mouthful of blood, struggling to suppress the torrent of energy surging within him. In shock, he reached back to touch his wound. Finding his hands smeared with crimson, he turned abruptly to Hongxiao and exclaimed, "How could you possibly breach my defenses? What kind of skill is this?" Observing the youth's reaction, Hongxiao could only shake his head in disappointment. Although the 9-fold thunder energy was formidable, it merely pierced through the external layers of his vitality. Chapter 037. Awakening. Instant kill. To the Source City. Under the astonished gazes of several individuals, a torrent of dense purple lightning erupted from the clouds above, crashing down with ferocity. "Quick, protect the young master." The group immediately encircled the shadowy youth, channeling their vital essence to form an inverted bowl-shaped protective barrier. Simultaneously, the relentless purple lightning descended with a vengeance. Boom, 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 an unceasing barrage of purple bolts rained down upon their protective shield. To their astonishment, the vital essence barrier created by the 5 began to tremble under the onslaught of the furious strikes. Among them, a middle-aged man. Chapter 38. Arrival at Source City. Xiang Tianyu. Parting. She shall never again be so contemptuous of me. High above the world, Hongxiao gazed downward, where all objects appeared as diminutive as ants. Such a view, once only attainable from the confines of an airplane, was now within reach, guided by another. This sensation was utterly enchanting. Is this the flight capability of the realm of Jiyang? How enviable! Hongxiao felt an invigorated determination to ascend to the realm of Jiyang as swiftly as possible, to master this liberating ability to soar freely. It is said that beyond Jiyang lies the formidable realm of Hongxiao. Chapter 39. timely arrival. En route to the elite training camp evaluation venue. At the Source City train station, the clock has struck 5:55 in the afternoon. Those waiting to receive the students occasionally glance at their watches. In just 5 minutes. Regardless of whether the last student arrives, the vehicle will depart. Inside the bus, Lin Yuan, Li Yin, and Shen Feng, among others, total 9 individuals. At this moment, Lin Yuan's gaze is persistently fixed on the window, eagerly anticipating the figure that lingers in his heart. Why has Ti come yet? Was it not promised that he would certainly attend the elite training camp? Could it be Chapter 040, the overbearing girl? Provocation. Could it be that the assessment is to take place in the mountainous region? Upon contemplating this, Su Hongxiao's eyes ignited with fervor. Engaging in combat with ferocious beasts would undoubtedly yield greater points. As the bus sped along, it eventually came to a gradual halt at the foot of a mountain. The expanse of land here was remarkably vast, with armed soldiers stationed at each lookout. Su Hongxiao disembarked alongside the others. Although it was summer, the breeze in this desolate mountain was decidedly chilly. Time flowed slowly, and less than half an hour remained until 7 in the evening. Chapter 041, The Arrogant Thunder Dragon. Rising up. Turmoil. Following the direction indicated by the man, Thunder Dragon beheld a tall and imposing youth. He strolled over, coming to stand before Su Hongxiao. Is what you said truly the case, esteemed student Su? Su Hongxiao slightly raised his head, revealing his dark, penetrating gaze as he calmly regarded the stout Thunder Dragon. Indeed. It is I. Thunder Dragon chuckled haughtily. Ha! Considering your delicate and tender physique, it is astonishing that you have amassed 1,000,000 points. This clearly illustrates the utter inadequacy of the martial examination standards in Tianyuan City. With that, Thunder Dragon's audacious gaze. Chapter 042. Here they are again. Initial points. Assessment tasks. This young lady must teach him a proper lesson. No one shall hinder me. In the face of the warning, the arrogant Fenglinga still intended to strike. However, before the flying dagger hovering beside her could launch, it was enveloped by an aura of terrifying vitality. The sharp dagger abruptly froze in mid-air, unable to move. At that moment, Fenglinger angrily gazed ahead. Yet soon, her haughty countenance calmed. Upon seeing the 2 formidable officers approaching in the distance, Fenglinger realized that the opportunity had slipped away. Chapter 043. Is he even worthy? A challenge. A single strike to annihilate. The astonishment of the crowd. What does this mean? Those like Thunder Dragon, Fenglinger, Lin Feng, and Lu Zhen are all top-tier warriors. Yet what is this Su Hongxiao? Is he truly worthy? Indeed. Just moments ago, Su Hongxiao did not dare to utter a sound in the face of danger. Why then did Instructor Song call his name? I have no idea. Let us wait and see what Instructor Song has to say. Before long, 4 figures appeared at the forefront of the crowd. It seemed that they were all familiar with one another, each maintaining a wary vigilance towards the others. Besides Fenglinger, the one who captured Thunder Dragon's utmost attention was. Chapter 044. The plunder continues. The camp assessment commences in earnest. As the voice of Song Ruoyan echoed through the air, the crowd, previously engulfed in shock, suddenly awakened from their stupor. Their gazes, now directed towards Su Hongxiao, gleamed with an inexplicable radiance. What had initially been disdain, derision, and contempt had transformed into profound reverence. To have defeated the 2-star mirror breaker, Gao Chen, with but a single move, what level of prowess could achieve such a feat? Was it 3 stars? Or perhaps 4? The onlookers realized that they could no longer fathom the depths of Su Hongxiao's capabilities. After all, at the outset. Chapter 045. Acting alone. Each by their own means. The formidable Thunder Dragon, Fenglinger, Lin Feng, and Lu Zhen have vanished from the scene. Su Hongxiao gazes at the retreating figure of Lu Zhen from Mist City, sensing a peculiar resemblance to a treacherous youth he encountered previously in the desolate region. At this moment, Lin Yuan approaches Su Hongxiao's side and inquires, Su, shall we join forces? Just as Su Hongxiao is about to respond, Wan Xin, standing beside Lin Yuan, interjects, Little Yuan, be cautious. Su currently possesses 10,000 points, and everyone is eager to seize those points from him. Staying close may prove perilous. Chapter 046. Ambushed. Get down. Upon the vast screen, in one of the 5 central panels, a youth clad in purple casually discarded a fallen trainee. The individual on the ground appeared to be afflicted by poison, writhing in agony. His lips had turned a sinister shade of purplish black, and his arms contorted in an unnatural manner, unmistakably fractured. Observing the score on his wristband, Lu Jiao cast a scornful glance at the writhing figure below. A chilling smile gracing his lips as he remarked, savor the exquisite sensation of the toxin coursing through your body. Such an experience is not something the average person can ever hope to encounter. Chapter 047. The Treasure. The Boiling. As the clock struck midnight, the moonlight became sparse. Hongxiao had not encountered anyone in the interim. At that moment, bright intelligent drones suddenly appeared high above the back mountain. Those who had been hiding in the mountainous terrain immediately became alert and concealed themselves, gazing upward toward the sky. It was then that Instructor Song's voice, resonating like the roar of the ocean, echoed throughout the valley. Everyone listened intently. Talented individuals, within this back mountain, there exists. Chapter 048. Seizing the Treasure. Who is courting death? In the mountainous region behind, near a towering peak standing 300 meters high, 3 squads gradually assembled, totaling 13 students. All of them remained on high alert, casting wary glances at the other 2 teams, none daring to be the first to venture into the cave. After all, the allure of treasure is irresistible, and stepping inside might render them prime targets for an onslaught. The leaders of these 3 squads were also quite astute. They understood that the longer the standoff persisted, the more precarious their situation would become. Should Lei Long or Feng Linger and their companions discover this location, they would undoubtedly lose any hope of entering the mountain. Chapter 49. Defeat. The Faithless Scoundrel. A critical moment. With a resounding impact, this mighty punch drove Lu Jiao's body into the mountainside. The terrifying force caused Lu Jiao to instantaneously spew forth a mouthful of blood, while he felt his internal organs quaking, leaving him gravely injured. What instilled greater terror in Lu Jiao was the ominous figure in the black robe, who appeared unwilling to relent, slowly advancing towards him. Just then, the voices of several individuals and the sound of approaching footsteps echoed from outside the cavern. The figure in black hesitated momentarily, their voice cold and eerie, leaving no indication of their identity. Chapter 050. The Useless Cyclone. The cave guarded by a 4th-rank beast. Bang! Confronted by the ferocious power of the purple lightning, Lu Jiao was violently thrust into the mountain wall, his entire body charred, and his veins began to tear apart. Who? The crowd was startled, their gazes darting towards the rear of the cave, yet they could discern no figure. Lin Yuan's eyes suddenly flickered. She seemed to recognize that flash of purple lightning. It felt so familiar. Regardless of who it was, taking advantage of that scoundrel's current inability to fight back, they should seize his points first. Xin Feng observed Lu Jiao, trapped within the mountain wall, unable to escape. Chapter 051. It's him. Do not let him escape. Surround him. Astonishment. Grudges. What on earth is happening? Who is that fellow? He completely disregarded us and dashed into the cave? That lad is truly courting death. Even we, the prodigies of the broken mirror 4 stars, cannot gain the slightest advantage against that fierce beast. Yet he dares to venture inside. Pay him no mind. He will likely emerge within 10 seconds. Listening to the conversation among the broken mirror 4-star students, the others also displayed expressions of disdain. However, at that moment, the group of broken mirror 4-star students suddenly turned their gaze towards. Chapter 052. Not a speck of dust. Collective elimination. The pursuing maiden. No, it can't be us. Faced with the glimmering flying dagger, the crowd's faces were filled with terror as they retreated in haste. One among them exclaimed, "Miss Feng, that ferocious beast is of the high 4th rank. Even if we ventured in, we would stand no chance." Damn, could it be that Hongxiao took it just now? What nonsense are you spouting? He was inside for barely 20 seconds before emerging, not a speck of dust on his garments. How could he possibly have taken it? Indeed, even a formidable being of the Shattered Mirror's 5th star rank would find it impossible to eliminate that. Chapter 053. I haven't even exerted myself yet. Why is she crying? At such a tender age, her methods are rather ruthless. Suddenly, Hongxiao's figure vanished from Feng Linger's sight. Immediately, a light, teasing laughter echoed beside her ear, and the warmth that enveloped her made her delicate body tremble, her neck flushing with color. The game is over. Just as Hongxiao was about to seize her by the neck, he noticed that Feng Linger's figure had become blurred. Upon a closer look, she had already leaped onto a branch 5 meters away. You big rascal. Chapter 054. The Siege. Ruthless Tactics. The enraged Hongxiao. Time slipped away in the blink of an eye. 5 hours later, Hongxiao's spatial ring had accumulated 10 vials of ferocious beast blood and 2 bottles of beast marrow. This was sufficient. With such a collection, he had enough to sustain himself for an entire month. Hongxiao paused in a concealed location, casting a glance at the items within his spatial ring. Throughout these 3 hours, he had not rested for a moment, fervently searching for caves and gathering treasures. He could not help but wonder how Lin Yuan and the others were faring. In an instant, Su Hongxiao's figure vanished from sight. Chapter 055, The Sudden Surrender of Several Individuals. Everyone is stunned. Let us act together. Spend time on the sickbed. You brat, how dare you ambush our people? The other disciples at the 4 stars of Broken Mirror cast dark glances at Su Hongxiao. Do not think that because you have defeated that useless Gao Chun, you can act arrogantly among us. Indeed, the throng of dozens surrounding the 9 disciples advanced menacingly. Boss, he possesses 1,000 points. We absolutely cannot let him go. Watching Su Hongxiao encircled by the multitude of disciples, Lin Yuan felt her heart plummet, although Su Hongxiao had just delivered a devastating blow. Chapter 056, Defying the Odds. The news of the Celestial Alliance leader. The spark of hope for the Empire. Suddenly, Su Hongxiao's silhouette transformed into an afterimage, colliding with the 5 adversaries at an astonishing speed. Each strike resonated with palpable force as he advanced with unrestrained aggression, as if traversing an uninhabited realm. In scarcely 10 seconds, the 5 figures were sent reeling backward, blood spilling from their mouths. The onlookers were left in stunned silence, witnessing the spectacle. The 5 leaders, each a formidable force at the 4-star Broken Mirror level, now lay motionless upon the ground. In merely 10 seconds, the battle had concluded. Chapter 057, The Assessment concludes. An uninvited guest. At the foot of the mountain, all the students who had successfully passed the assessment gathered back in the open space. Meanwhile, from the rear mountain, soldiers were gradually bringing out the injured and fallen students. The majority of the surviving students broke into a cold sweat upon witnessing this scene. Suddenly, their pupils constricted in shock as they beheld none other than Lu Jiao from Fog City being carried on a stretcher. At that moment, Lu Jiao appeared somewhat deranged, a sight that left everyone in stunned silence. Chapter 058, The Overbearing Colonel Song. The Hidden Killing Intent. In the face of the overwhelming pressure emanating from his formidable aura, both Lu Meng and the group of burly men instantly turned pale, retreating in haste. At that moment, the imposing steel gate gradually creaked open, revealing 2 tall figures who stepped forth with an air of authority. Who are you? Lu Meng inquired, his expression darkening as he gazed towards the iron door. The 2 individuals emerging were impeccably clad in military uniforms, and Lu Meng's eyes glimmered with astonishment, for they appeared to be no older than 20. Chapter 059, The Source of Integration. Commencing a thorough sprint. Upon noticing the bewildered gazes of those around him, as well as Lin Yuan's embarrassment, Su Hongxiao gently cleared his throat. At that moment, the crowd awkwardly scratched their heads and diverted their attention. Li Yin, witnessing this, offered a wry smile and remarked, "What a pity. Had I known, I would have refrained from joining the Magic City Martial University and instead opted for the Kyoto Martial University. It would have been much more lively." As he spoke, Li Yin suddenly turned to Su Hongxiao and inquired, "However, why did you choose not to enroll in the increasingly formidable Magic City Martial University?" Su Hongxiao replied with a light chuckle, "For me, attending either martial university holds no significance." Chapter 060, Seclusion. The Stirring Beast Egg. Allow me to impart my wisdom. During the elevation of one's realm, particularly at the pivotal moment of breakthrough, it presents the greatest trial for those endowed with talent. One must not only remain vigilant to the fluctuations within their inner cyclone, but also focus their entire being with unwavering concentration. At times, even the slightest disturbance could lead to irreparable adverse consequences. Although Su Hongxiao is safeguarded by the divine thunder of the 9 heavens, alleviating his concerns, he still wishes to avoid constant interruptions. Fear not, Brother Su, as we typically engage in tasks such as cleaning to earn points. After our cultivation sessions, we shall arrange for individuals to take turns visiting this place. Chapter 061, Breakthrough. The Realm of Mountain Suppression. A month's time. 3 items. Under the blazing sun. Accompanied by the chirping of insects and the songs of birds, in a modest chamber, Su Hongxiao suddenly opened his eyes, catching a fleeting glimpse of a mysterious purple light. With a splash, Su Hongxiao abruptly rose to his feet, sending droplets of water flying. The explosive vitality of his physique was infused with a luminous potion. Buzz, in an instant, a violet radiance erupted from Su Hongxiao's energy sea, manifesting as an enigmatic purple essence of vitality enveloping his exterior. A look of exhilaration illuminated Su Hongxiao's face. Chapter 062, Showcasing Extraordinary Abilities. If you dare to leave, I shall undoubtedly incapacitate him. Inside the elite trainees' training room, a multitude of students gathered, diligently honing their skills. Behold, The esteemed Lin Feng from Nanjing is endeavoring to transcend his limits, attempting to conquer the movement test designed for those who have reached the formidable mountain-subduing realm. A sudden call from an unknown individual instantaneously captured everyone's attention, prompting the practitioners to hastily converge. Within a unique training chamber, a vast transparent glass wall allowed onlookers to observe and learn. In the spacious training area, a figure clad in flowing white stood resplendently. Chapter 63. The Overwhelming Power. The restless crowd. The exit. Onward to the test. The director of the town guard? The guardian of the city? All these elite students fell silent, despite their own familial influences and power. However, within their families, they had heard numerous tales from the previous generation regarding the town guard. The primary duty of the town guard is to safeguard the peace of the city, addressing matters that ordinary departments are incapable of managing. Particularly, the directors of the town guard, regardless of the city, possess formidable strength, capable of vanquishing king-level ferocious beasts and dismantling the corrupt elite of the empire, as well as combating malevolent forces. Chapter 064. He has arrived. What a commotion. Prepare for the test. Damn. What are you planning to do? Shenfeng felt a surge of panic as he looked at the dozens of students encircling him. After all, he had previously endured a severe beating from some of these individuals, and that experience was far from pleasant. Li Yin wore a helpless smile. This guy's words were far too sharp, which was why the situation had escalated so quickly into such a stalemate. The others also began to feel anxious. Despite their significant improvements in strength during this time, the opposing group outnumbered and outmatched them in power. Stand still. Chapter 065. Witnessing the breathless crowd. Please, hold on to your eyes. They might just pop out. The force gauge here is truly remarkable. Upon arriving at the forefront of the device, Hongxiao came to a gradual halt. He gazed at the imposing machine towering 3 meters high before him, a smile gracing his lips. At last, he should no longer fear being overwhelmed. After all, Hongxiao himself was uncertain of the exact magnitude of his current strength. The transition from the mountain-settling realm to the mirror-shattering realm represents a monumental divide. Just the ability to channel one's vital essence outward is something that those of the mirror-shattering aptitude can never rival. Chapter 066, Level 10. Let us have another 100. Lin Yuan stared incredulously at the figures displayed on the gauge, her eyes fixed on Hongxiao before her. Once, when she was merely a 1-star mirror shatterer, he had seemed to be just a 1-star warrior. Yet now, Hongxiao chuckled lightly. Lin, what are you daydreaming about? Could you share what other facilities are available in this training room? Upon hearing Hongxiao's voice, Lin Yuan finally comprehended that all of this was not a mere dream. Once her thoughts were in order, she looked up at Hongxiao with a joyful expression. There is also a specialized. Chapter 067. The test concludes. The numb crowd. Will the world face destruction? 9 minutes have elapsed. The onlookers stared in astonishment at the time display outside the training chamber, each struggling to swallow hard. In a space of tenfold gravity, confronting 200 laser beams. It was taking over 10 minutes. Is this still a human being? Ding. After 10 minutes, the dim red training chamber suddenly illuminated, and the 200 laser beams ceased their assault. It was not that Hongxiao had been struck. Rather, he had chosen to halt the trial himself. Chapter 068. What? What on earth? A new talent. Naming. Upon hearing Hongxiao's inquiry, the two were momentarily taken aback, and then Song Ruoyan seemed to recall something. Letting out a gentle laugh, the talent test will not be alarming. It is merely an assessment that reveals your talent level and will not manifest the same circumstances as during the awakening. Beside them, Qin Jun chuckled heartily. Well, you need not fret over this. After all, the cataclysmic scenarios can only arise from talents of SS rank or even SSS rank, even during the awakening ceremony. There is no need for you to. Chapter 069. The Battle of the Leaders. Numerous elite-level ferocious beasts. What a joyous occasion. Regardless of your thoughts on the matter, what I wish to convey is that only through the trials of blood and fire can one truly emerge as a formidable force. Song Ruoyan gazed at the contemplative Hongxiao and remarked, in contrast to those parasites nestled within the safety of their zones, I sincerely hope that upon your graduation, you will join our military district in Hetian province. As for the direction you wish to pursue in the future, I hold no authority to interfere. Hongxiao lifted his gaze earnestly and declared, Rest assured, Colonel Song, I aspire to become the strongest individual in this world. How could I ever confine myself to a corner and become a mere parasite? Chapter 070. The Valley of Beasts. The eve of departure, the bet. Hongxiao's eyes gleamed with curiosity. May I inquire, Instructor Song, Where is this place? Song Ryun leisurely strolled, responding, Our Central Plains region is vast beyond measure, encompassing an area exceeding 1 million square kilometers. Amongst it lies a territory claimed by ferocious beasts, teeming with an innumerable population of these creatures. However, Qin Jun suddenly halted, exclaiming, Colonel Song, you cannot be referring to. Song Ruoyan gently inclined his head. Indeed. The place I speak of is situated in the western mountainous region of Heitian province, where there exists an immensely expansive valley, renowned as. Chapter 071, Acting. Determination. Song Ruoyan gazed at the two individuals in the arena, her lips parting gracefully. The duel begins. Swish, swish. Swish. No sooner had Song Ruoyan's words faded than a myriad of flying daggers materialized around Fenglinger. Gritting her teeth, she glared at Su Hongxiao and declared, You scoundrel. This time, I have ascended to the pinnacle of the Broken Mirror's 9th star realm, and I shall not be defeated by you. Standing resolute, Su Hongxiao summoned his broad blade with a light-hearted chuckle, though I would love to see you triumph. This time, that shall not be the case. Fenglinger regarded Su Hongxiao with a fierce determination. Chapter 072, Return to the City. A man's fury, blood spills within 5 paces. I am back. At the Source City railway station. Do you really not need to bid farewell to your friends? No, I'll simply inform them that I am in seclusion. And with Fenglinger watching over things, I feel quite at ease. Very well then. Inside the sedan, Qin Jun handed a letter to Su Hongxiao. Advising, this contains information regarding the towns and factions surrounding the Beast Demon Valley. The Liu family from Mist City has stationed people there. So it would be prudent for you to enter through the entrances of the other 2 cities. Upon hearing Qin Jun's words, Su Hongxiao nodded gratefully. Thank you, Instructor Qin. Chapter 073, In 3 minutes. The arrival of your esteemed leader. All the senior executives received the news. Director Xiao, Sister Gao, Zhao has returned. Upon hearing the familiar voice before them, Gao Manru and Xiao Yuding's eyes instantly brimmed with tears. Su Hongxiao turned to face Director Xiao and Sister Gao. Filled with remorse, it is all my fault for not returning to see you. I nearly brought you such humiliation. You foolish child. In the aged depths of Xiao Yuding's eyes, a glimmer of light shone forth. You should not have come back. Now that you have struck their people, they will not let you go. Gao Manru quickly urged. Zhao, you must leave at once. Their leader will be here shortly. Chapter 074. Once again, the Liu family. Kneel and speak again. While awaiting the arrival of the opposing leader, Su Hongxiao wished to have Dean Xiao and Sister Gao enter first. After all, it was likely that blood would be shed shortly, and Su Hongxiao preferred that they not witness his brutal actions. However, in the end, he could not persuade them otherwise. They insisted on remaining by his side. Su Hongxiao glanced at the time on his outdated phone, then cast a frigid gaze toward the thugs kneeling on the ground. Just 1 more minute. Upon hearing Su Hongxiao's icy tone, the group trembled, their eyes fixed on the distant ground. Chapter 075, The one who stands as if he were a radiant sun. The naive youth. Observing the outstretched hand of Su Hongxiao, the young man displayed a scornful smile. He was far from being comparable to the useless Chui Sammang. I forgot to mention. I possess the talent of a 5-star in the mountain guarding realm. Bang. Su Hongxiao regarded the young man kneeling on the ground and chuckled lightly. What difference is there between you and that good-for-nothing? You, the young man, feeling the numbing force of blood and energy within him, was momentarily struck with astonishment. Chapter 76, Journey to the Beastly Demon Valley. After bidding farewell to Qin Wuyo, Director Xiao and Sister Gao stood at the entrance of the orphanage, momentarily lost in thought. Inside, a group of children rushed out. Brother Su, Brother Su. The children joyfully surrounded Su Hongxiao. Brother Su, are you leaving again? A charming little girl tugged at Su Hongxiao's hand and inquired. Yes. Brother Su must venture out to strive and toil. Otherwise, how could I earn money to buy you delicious treats and delightful toys? Chapter 077, The 3 Major Powers of Twilight Town. Upon hearing Su Hongxiao's light-hearted tone, the man with the mustache was instantly incensed, puffing out his cheeks in indignation. Young brother, you are unaware that the territory of the ferocious beast, the Demon Valley, is vast. Only I possess the complete map. Other shops are either deceivers or extortionists. Oh? Su Hongxiao paused, turning his gaze toward him. The complete map? Indeed. Noticing the interest in the young man's expression, the mustached man immediately lifted his chin proudly. Within a radius of 10,000 meters, there is no area I, Hu Laba, am unfamiliar with, and I have painstakingly hand-drawn this map, investing immense effort into its creation. Chapter 078, Entering the Beastly Demon Valley. The goal is 10 million points. The leaders of the three factions were once subordinates of Miss Li's elder brother. The boss shook his head, recalling that Miss Li's elder brother had mysteriously disappeared in the beastly Demon Valley. Fortunately, among the three, one individual was particularly obedient to Miss Li and was also the strongest among them, possessing the power of the 7 stars in the mountain suppression realm. He was the leader of the Qingmu gang. Consequently, the townsfolk held great respect for Miss Li, not solely due to her prowess, but primarily because of her amiable nature and her keen intuition regarding precious medicinal herbs. With Miss Li's abilities aiding them, the Qingmu gang frequently succeeded in their excursions. Seeking. Chapter 79. Millions of points. A frenzied elevation. Time swiftly passed, and a month had gone by. On a bright and resplendent morning, deep within the beastly Demon Valley, a tranquil stream meandered. At the bottom of this crystal-clear brook sat a solitary figure. Beside him, several ferocious aquatic beasts launched relentless and violent assaults upon him. Yet, surrounding the figure was an invisible barrier of violet light, effectively thwarting the vicious bites and violent collisions of these water-dwelling monsters. Plop, plop, plop. Soon, the serene. Chapter 080. Encounter. Indeed, they are all wretched beings. Continuing on, Hongxiao was merely one step away from mastering the final advanced Earth-level skill, the Thunderflame Purgatory Array. However, what left Hongxiao utterly bewildered was the astonishing fact that the cost of utilizing this advanced Earth-level skill was even more exorbitant than that of the Lightning 9 flickers. After meticulously tallying the numbers displayed before him, he muttered, 1,000,000 points of merit, and I can only proficiently wield the Thunderflame Purgatory Array for a month. Blast it. Clenching his teeth, Hongxiao ultimately resolved to expend 10 million merit points for a surge in power. After all, this sum of over 10 million points appeared rather enticing. Chapter 081. Kill. Haha. Upon hearing the chilling voice from across, Hongxiao could not help but chuckle. Indeed, the members of the Lu family in Mist City all share the same disposition. 6 formidable warriors at the mountain settling realm, upon witnessing Lu Xia's resolute intent, refrained from further unnecessary dialogue. However, the middle-aged leader among them, while gazing at the handsome youth, harbored some doubts. Young man, I see that you have reached the 2nd star of the mountain settling realm at such a tender age, but are you affiliated with the Fong family? Hongxiao replied with a light chuckle. I am without any backing. If you wish to make a move, then please proceed swiftly. Chapter 082. News of the treasure. Each collision sent a tremor through the hearts of the 3 middle-aged men, overwhelmed by the terrifying velocity and power. Bang! After once again sending 2 individuals flying, Hongxiao gazed at the trembling figure before him and bellowed, Thunder Arc, Triad Slash. Opportunities to vanquish foes are fleeting. Seizing this fleeting moment, Hongxiao's Thunder Blade transformed into a mere shadow, striking the neck of his adversary. The first slash effortlessly severed the external defenses of the opponent's vitality, while the second swiftly penetrated into the very depths of the neck. Chapter 083. The Hidden Threat. A fortuitous encounter. After Hongxiao dispatched several individuals, he meticulously collected all their spatial rings. After all, these rings contained numerous valuable items. As for the skills they wielded, Hongxiao held no interest. Their techniques were merely of the profound tier, far beneath his regard. Having completed this task, flames erupted from his palm, swiftly incinerating the bodies, leaving not a trace behind. With a sudden force, he propelled himself off the ground, launching into the air. Chapter 084. The White Serpent Absorbing Divine Thunder. Little sister, do you know him? The young man beside her was taken aback to discover that Miss Li was acquainted with the youth. Observing the cheerful countenance of the young lad, Lei Wei finally felt a sense of relief. Brother Lei, I have merely met him once. Previously, he was deceived by that scoundrel Hulaba, and I happened to come across him and offered my assistance. Indeed, I must extend my gratitude to Miss Li for her help. Hongxiao remarked with a light smile directed at Lei Wei. If I am not mistaken, this esteemed elder must be the leader of the Qingmu gang. Am I correct? Lei Wei regarded the individual before him. Chapter 085. The Emergence of Treasures. A nest of serpents and rodents. Observing the transformation of Little Moon, Hongxiao felt an uplift in his spirits. If Little Moon could ascend to the rank of a lord-level beast, his advantages would multiply significantly. Even in the face of formidable adversaries at the moon-cleaving realm, he would possess the strength to contend. Ah, what a delightful surprise this truly is. Just as Hongxiao was about to enter the Points Mall to browse the items, he suddenly beheld a brilliant golden light erupting in the distant night. Could it be that the Earth Dragon scale fruit is about to emerge? As he gazed at the breathtaking spectacle, he immediately cast aside any hesitation. Chapter 086. A Decisive Triumph. Hee. The lone wolf chuckled coldly. Those who recognize the times are the true talents. Although our Muyang town is closest to Yang City and Nan City, neither faction regards us with any esteem. If it weren't for the arrival of Master Wu, when would we ever rise to prominence? Indeed, the blind bear turned to Miss Li. Sister, you must cease your stubbornness. If you align yourself with the Liu family, Master Wu has assured us that we shall surely enjoy a life of abundance and luxury in the future. Miss Li gazed at the two with disappointment. You truly disappoint me. I initially believed that your grievances stemmed from mere frustration, but it seems I was mistaken. Chapter 087. Celestial Weapons. Confronted with the formidable presence of Master Liu, Hongxiao dared not hold back in the slightest and unleashed his full potential in an instant. With a thunderous sound, Liu Wuye's rapid approach abruptly halted, ensnared within a terrifying web of thunder and fire that encircled him from all directions. Simultaneously, waves of ferocious thunderous flames surged towards him relentlessly. In the face of such a daunting onslaught, Liu Wuye let out a cold snort, and the overwhelming aura of the moon-splitting realm erupted forth with ferocity. The pressure emanating from the moon-splitting realm could extend for hundreds of meters, swiftly countering the infinite barrage aimed at him. Chapter 088. The Kill. The Siege. However, he had no time for further contemplation as his vital energy surged forth in an instant, striking the ferocious thunder hammer with great force using the sword in his hand. Hongxiao hovered high in the air, his eyes radiating a chilling purple light as he bellowed, "Get down." Boom. With the full eruption of the thundercloud cyclone within him, the celestial weapon, the Nine Heavens Thunder Hammer, began to flicker wildly with violent purple lightning. Under this tempestuous force, the Nine Heavens Thunder Hammer swiftly overpowered the sword, and in a subsequent moment, it smashed Liu Wuye's entire body into the ground. Simultaneously, the earth. Chapter 089. Chaos. The Struggle for Treasure. The Beasts Beneath the Waters. Under the watchful gazes of the crowd, a figure clad in black robes abruptly came to a halt. At that moment, two more formidable presences emerged. Lei Yu, Nan Xun, and the others swiftly drew their weapons, bracing themselves for confrontation. They presumed these three individuals were there to seize the treasure and promptly encircled them. Members of the Liu family. At this juncture, Nan Xun discerned the identities of the two figures behind. Simultaneously, the formidable warriors from the Liu family stronghold arrived, and the three factions formed a triangular formation, each maintaining a heightened state of vigilance. Chapter 090. The Terrifying Lord-Level Beast. Annihilation. The enemy? Bang. Lu Huan and Lu Yin were taken aback by the audacity of this young man, who dared to strike. As they beheld the imminent, fearsome assault, they swiftly summoned their vitality to shield themselves against the thunderous hammer. However, the overwhelming force immediately bore down upon them, forcing their bodies downward. Damn it! This young man harbored far too many secrets. Lu Huan and Lu Yin, as formidable warriors of the moon-cleaving realm, had never been subjected to such treatment, especially by an insignificant creature from the mountain-suppressing realm. In a moment of fury, they unleashed their powerful skills, directing their wrath towards Hongxiao above. Chapter 091. The Daughter of the Rescuer. Journey to the Fallen City. A sudden clang resonated as Hongxiao brandished the thunderous broad blade, positioning it defensively behind him. He noticed a concealed weapon clattering to the ground. Who dares? Hongxiao turned to face the source, observing a slender figure emerging slowly from the thicket. The masked woman regarded him with an icy demeanor. I have witnessed you seize the Earth Dragon scale fruit. Huh? And what of it? Hongxiao retorted with a chilling smile, fixing his gaze upon the woman. Do you truly believe yourself superior to those two old hounds, Lu Huan and Lu Yin? Chapter 092. The Conflict at the Martial Arts School. Let us join forces. What has transpired? Zhang Shu furrowed her delicate brows and inquired urgently. During your absence, individuals from the Weihu Martial Arts School instigated trouble at our Qingyang Martial Arts School, and the situation has escalated dramatically. We must hurry. With that, the trio immediately boarded a vehicle, racing towards a location within the city. Throughout the previous night, Hongxiao had gleaned some details. Zhang Shuru's family operates a martial arts school in Luoqing, known as the Qingyang Martial Arts School. Currently, her father has been poisoned, leaving him in a severely weakened state. Chapter 093. The Bet. The Purge. Upon hearing the voice of Hongxiao from the arena, the crowd was momentarily stunned. Not only the members of the Qingyang Martial Arts School, but even those from the Weihu Martial Arts School were left in disbelief. What did you just say? Wang Hu asked incredulously once more. Su Hongxiao replied with a light chuckle. I said, let them stop competing and come at me all at once. Ha. At his words, laughter erupted from the crowd. Who did he think he was? A figure of the mountain guarding realm? Chapter 094. I trust you. Prepare for another breakthrough. Within a training room of the Qingyang Martial Arts School, Zhang Shura gazed at Su Hongxiao with her beautiful eyes and said, this time, I entrust it to you. As she spoke, she even attempted to bow, but Su Hongxiao immediately stopped her. There is no need for such formality. You may leave first. Su Hongxiao regarded her earnestly and added, your father will surely be fine. Zhang Shuru looked into Su Hongxiao's eyes and nodded seriously. I believe in you. Zhang Yu observed the two from the side, a meaningful smile appearing on his face. All right, Shiro, go. Chapter 095, The Tricolor Vitality Pill. A menacing aura. Tricolor Vitality Pill, quality, 5th grade, effect. When consumed below the 9-star mountain realm, it enables consecutive breakthroughs to the 3rd star without any side effects. Price, 10,000. 000 points. It is yours. Su Hongxiao immediately spent 10 million points to acquire this pill. 10 million points have been spent. The pill has been stored in the inventory. Su Hongxiao promptly opened his panel and retrieved the Tricolor Vitality Pill. As he held the pill, a rich medicinal fragrance enveloped him. Chapter 096. A Soul Individual. Entering the arena. The Weihu Martial Arts School is bustling with activity. Wang Hu stands ready for action, accompanied by dozens of his disciples. Beside them is a young man exuding confidence. This individual hails from the Yin family of Luoqing, named an Yi. At the tender age of 20, he possesses the formidable strength of a 5-star mountain-subduing realm. He's also an external aid invited by Wang Hu. The only reason Wang Hu could persuade this individual is due to An Yi's affection for his daughter, Wang Jiaro. Were it not for his daughter, how could he have garnered the support of someone from the Yin family? Rest assured, uncle, as long as the age aligns with mine. Chapter 97. March has arrived. The items of the 3rd month. Upon hearing An Yi's words, although Wang Hu was reluctant, he could only respond with a forced smile. Since you, Diren, have expressed it thus, let it be decided. Splendid, An Yi exclaimed, wrapping his arm around Su Hongxiao's shoulder. Come, my brother Su. It is indeed fate that has brought us together in my humble city. As I am your senior, if you do not mind, I shall address you as my brother. Since you have come to our city, the Yin family must extend to you our utmost hospitality. Chapter 098. S-Class Fire Elemental Talent. Celestial Flight Skill, now available. 1 yuan flash sale system. Description: 3 opportunities for a 1 yuan flash sale each month. This month's items are as follows. Celestial Low-Level Skill, Blood Transformation Wings, 1 yuan purchase. Master Level Alchemy Technique, Master Crystal, 1 yuan purchase. S-Class Talent, 3 Mystical Blazing Flames, 1 yuan purchase. Su Hongxiao could not help but blink in astonishment. The items available this month were simply extraordinary. The Master Level Alchemy Technique, the S-Class Fire Elemental Talent, and that. Chapter 099. Arrival. My goodness. Is that not the car from Kyoto University of Technology? Indeed. Such a vehicle is only used to greet esteemed guests. What on earth is happening? Lai Jun stood there in utter bewilderment, and just then, the car door swung open. Following that, a pair of snow-white long legs gracefully descended to the ground. Well, is that not the esteemed Bai Shui from Kyoto University of Technology? Lai Jun Sr. was left dumbfounded, unable to comprehend why this illustrious figure would appear here. Ultimately, under their astonished gaze, they could only watch as. Chapter 100. Do you also wish to recline? Kyoto Martial Arts University. At the freshman reception area, tables and chairs were arranged. Inside, a dozen upperclassmen from Kyoto Martial Arts University were seated. The male seniors constantly cast their glances towards the long legs of the female freshmen, their eyes sparkling at the sight of beauty. Throughout the entire campus, temporary pavilions erected by the upperclassmen were scattered, always ready to guide the newcomers. Greetings. I am a freshman this year, here to register. May I see your notification letter? At this moment, a girl gazed at a stunningly beautiful fellow student.